All right, we'll call this City Council regular meeting agenda for Monday, September the 22nd, 2025 to order at 6:33 p.m. We're about to go into invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. Our invocation is going to be led by Mayor Pro Tem Byram, followed by the pledges by Councilmember Fernandez. But as we stand and remove our hats, I am going to ask for a moment of silence. Our city lost a Parks employee a little over a week ago. We had those services this last weekend. Javier Varga left this earth way too soon, so we want to have a moment of silence for them and then move on to your prayer. You'll stand with us. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. It's a great crowd. Lots of different issues on the on the agenda for tonight. So we appreciate each and every one of you for making it out with us. Um, Madam Secretary, Madam Secretary, we're going to move forward in our agenda. Roll call and certification of quorum. I will certify we have a quorum present as all members are present, with the exception of Mr. Carbone, who's indicated he might be able to make it in later. He's out of town on business, but may be able to make it in later this evening. With that, we'll move to citizens' comments. We have several. Are there any that are under general? We have one person under general. Everyone else signed up specifically to an agenda item. So those that are specific to an agenda item, we will call you out and call you up when we get to that specific agenda item. So just bear with us as we get through it. It's a long agenda tonight. Some of these agenda items may be here. We may be here for a little while. So With that, Mayor Pro Tem, if you'll name those under our general comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not going to say this right, and I am sorry. Dina Abdel Halim? Was that close? Okay, I tried. If you make your way to the podium and just state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes, and thank you for being here this evening.
Hi, my name is Dina Abdel Halim. I live at 2817 Los Maples Drive. Don't say you didn't know about the UN naming Gaza a genocide. It is a choice to stay silent. Don't say you didn't know of the babies that lost their lives, children that were lost under the rubble, the schools bombed, the limbs scattered, Mrs. Rachel's scream. The recent bill that cut off Gaza visas to America is because the average Joe are seeing these children come here with no limbs and burn, and are questioning the status quo. Over 3,000 children in Gaza have had one or more limb amputated. Don't say you didn't watch the buildings of unarmed civilians get flattened while the people scattered to their tents, then to watch as they get bombed in their tents. Murdering of journalists, children, women, doctors, and starving of 1.5 million people. Don't say you didn't know or hear Hind's plea and cry for help, and then heard the 335 bullets that were then silenced, that were then shot at a helpless child. Don't say you didn't know of the skin-on-bone children dying abroad, the story of Lieutenant Anthony with the little grateful Emir who lost his life with his crumbs in his hand and his tummy empty. More than 1,000 people have died waiting in line to get food because they are being starved. Don't say you didn't know that our tax dollars that can be used here in the States are instead used to benefit Israel and not America. America First does not exist when Pentagon submitted an emergency request for $3.5 billion to go to Zionists this month. Our hard-earned American tax dollars used to commit war crimes. The U.S. has provided $22 billion to Israel since this started. Brown University research shows that U.S. spent 70% of on the Gaza war. Don't say you didn't know of the military tanks that sit in D.C. right now in front of our civilians as we get silenced and rise in suppressing our voices. The changes to our Constitution with Article 5 resolution and remapping of our districts should be a red flag. Will you act? Will you help? Will you advocate? City Council members and members of our community, will you protect our local funds and stop them from contributing to crimes abroad? Pearland residents deserve to know where our money goes. We deserve a voice that says our tax dollars should serve us, not war. Will you continue to think you are too small when you sit in a seat of power, more able to change our society by divesting, boycotting, and putting pressure on the current status quo? I want you to say that I held my head high and fought for humanity. I raised my voice to grab more opportunity for them by keeping our funds here in the state. I raised my voice for the children of humanity, but I realized my voice was the strongest. I realized that millions don't support this genocide, but they aren't America, and they're not powerful like you. You know what is more powerful than the American government? It's an American citizens united and walking together. We unite for what's right and speaks truth to power. That is why I love America, and we have progressed to freedom. Hold on tight to that freedom and spread it to others. For when you meet your Lord, your body will speak on your behalf and say you knew true in your heart and didn't move, because we see and we know. Please add it to our city's agenda. We need to keep our funds here for us by divesting arm embargo and protection from our own government that has overstepped. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, as always, for your words and your passion. I appreciate that. As we move forward, we're going to move to the consent agenda. We are pulling D and E to a future agenda. We did not have an audit committee meeting today, so we didn't have an opportunity to review both of those prior to the agenda. Are there any other items, A through H, except for D and E, to be pulled from the agenda? Seeing none, Mr. Koza, if you could present consent agenda items A through H with the exception of D and E.
Certainly, Mayor. Consideration and possible action on consent agenda items A through H with the exceptions of D and E. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram.
Aye.
The motion passes 6-0.
All right, moving forward in our agenda, we'll move to public hearing number 1, public hearing on the FY26 proposed city property tax rate. With that, we'll turn it over to staff to open it up, and then we'll move to the public for public comments, and then city council for questions.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, council. We'll be brief with our comments and our presentation tonight, as we've had many meetings to this point discussing what is in the budget, the tax rate, no new revenue rate, voter approved rate, and all those associated things. In the end, what this budget accomplishes is 1, continuing to provide an exceptional level of service, 2, absorbing the rising cost to provide those services, 3, prioritizing our personnel, and 4, adding significant dollars to our streets program. This budget before you tonight is rooted in our strategic priorities and milestones, which support our why, and that is to be the community of choice. We are making strides as a community to be the community of choice, and one of the ways we see the fruits of those efforts is our recent designation as the #1 place to live in Texas, as ranked by U.S. News. And while those type of accolades are great, what really matters to our residents, businesses, and our customers are the fundamentals. Does my trash get picked up when it's supposed to? How quickly will the police department or the fire department arrive when I call? Do we deliver quality water? And do we have well-maintained and sustainable parks, roads, and drainage ways? This budget addresses those fundamentals, but we also acknowledge it does not address all of our current and future needs, as fully funding the IT and facilities funds, personnel needs, or fully funding the streets programs are not addressed. This months-long process of developing this budget concludes tonight with the agenda items, which include the tax rate public hearing, the second reading of the budget ordinance, and the second reading of the tax rate ordinance, which actually reduces the current tax rate by ½ cent to 63 cents. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Ms. Rachel Winslow, and she will walk us through the tax rate public hearing presentation. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Epperson. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Today we'll go over the proposed property tax rate in support of the fiscal year 26 budget. The proposed tax rate to support the fiscal year 26 budget is 63 cents, a decrease from 63.5 cents for fiscal year 25. That is made up of a maintenance and operations rate and a debt rate shown here. Our property tax rate has been decreasing for the last 3 years, and the fiscal year 26 proposed tax rate is a ½ cent decrease. The median homestead in the city of Pearland at the proposed 63 cents will see an annual change in a reduction of $12 from the city of Pearland taxes. This tax rate proposed supports a general fund budget that is balanced, exceeds our policy minimums, and is used to fund additional streets and sidewalk rehabilitation. The fiscal year 26 ending fund balance is projected to be $32.6 million or $13,000 over policy minimum. In addition to our maintenance and operations, the property tax rate supports our debt service fund, which is the fund where the city budgets revenue and expenditures for all of our tax-backed debt, including the non-enterprise fund debt and MUD rebates. The proposed debt service rate for fiscal year 26 is 0.278496, and the estimated current tax with frozen values is $38.1 million, for a total property tax revenue of $38.5 million. Our debt service fund summary is shown here and continues to meet policy minimums for that fund as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Winslow. So just a couple of concluding remarks, Mayor. This year we made significant changes to the budget schedule to intentionally present the budget in smaller pieces to allow additional time for review and input. In addition to that, we also made significant changes in the budget presentation with a focus on communicating how each part of the budget supports the strategic priorities. So as part of our commitment to continuous improvement, we are already examining those changes and the effectiveness of those changes already planning for next year and also welcoming input on those process changes. So to that end, we'll be sending out not only to the council, but our department heads and as well, basically a survey on the budget presentation and process survey, so we can take that into account for the future. In conclusion, I want to thank the council. I want to thank all of our departments, especially Rachel and her budget team for all the hard work that went into this budget, the workshops that we conducted, and all the presentations and the questions we worked through to get us to this point. As I turn it back over to you, Mayor, and the council for any questions. Thank you.
All right, before we get to questions and comments from council, we'll open this up to the public. Those wishing to speak and offer testimony can go to the podium, give us your name and no address, name, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Second attempt, those wishing to offer testimony on this year's public hearing for the tax rate. Third and final time, those wishing to offer testimony can go and offer up. Okay. We have you listed for the next one, Ms. Sheridan, if you wanted to, either way. Okay. Sounds good.
I'll go ahead and speak now. Is that all right?
All good. Glad to see you tonight.
All right. Well, good evening, councilmen and councilwomen. Thank you for hearing me out. Since it's my first time, I didn't know when to get up here. So I appreciate you allowing me to speak. As a resident and homeowner in Pearland, I respectfully encourage you to pass a rate no higher than the no new revenue rate of 0.619439. The current tax rate of 0.63 per $100 valuation of a home does not meet this no new revenue rate and increases property taxes on residents who are already facing higher appraisal values and expenses, such as the upcoming 7% increase coming to our water bill very soon. As we work together, everyone must do their part to keep property taxes as low as possible, and you can do your part by honoring the no new revenue rate and showing all the Pearland residents you are in this fight with us and not working against us. I would say please find the wherewithal within yourselves to put our residents first. After all, pennies do count. We all need to live within our means. Our population at this time appears to be stagnant. Mom and pop restaurants that I often visit are very slow and complaining they don't have enough business. People do not have the income to support many of these businesses that we have in our wonderful city. People are losing their jobs left and right. As a matter of fact, when we went for financial help this past week, the advisor we spoke to had to listen to tears of at least 4 people from last week that have lost their jobs. So this is a huge concern. We are in an uncertain market at this time. So I'd appreciate it if you would consider again doing the no new revenue rate of 0.619439. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. And last call for this docketed public hearing. Go to the podium, give us your name. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing no one move in that direction, we will move to questions, comments, concerns from city council members. So we'll open it up for anybody on the council to offer up any questions. We've had obviously numerous times to have questions and comments. Anyone? Reaching, sorry. Mayor Pro Tem.
And Trent, looks like y'all brought this up, but just for clarity, Ms. Sheridan, in your comments, noted that at the proposed rate of 63 cents, that would be an increase in homeowners' property tax bill. Based on the chart you've given us, there would actually be a decrease. Is that correct?
That's correct. We are dropping the rate itself by half a cent, and if you apply that to the median homestead value, there's a slight reduction in the actual cost of the tax bill by about $12 for that median household.
I just wanted to be clear that it's not resulting in an increase in the tax bill, and that's partly because the appraisal district kept values pretty flat on the average.
That's correct.
Right.
So it's not going to be the same for everybody. There will be some above that, some below that. And then I think the other thing to clarify is that the water rate increase is 5.5%, and I think it was stated at 7, so it's actually at 5.5.
Yep. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, what? All right. I was about to close the public hearing, move to new business. So we're going to close this public hearing, move to new business item number 1. Ms. Chavarria, would you place that on the table, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Consideration, possible action, second and final reading of ordinance number 1650. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had staff report and staff input, but we do have one other that requested to speak on new business item number 1. So Ms. Longoria, you can go give us your name for the record and 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Veronica Longoria. I've been a resident of Pearland for over 20 years. I'm here tonight to respectfully ask you to vote against the proposed tax rate increase. I realize that some people may save $12, but there is an alternative that's a better choice. And instead direct the city manager to present a revised budget. For families in Pearland, the fiscal pressure is becoming unsustainable. Our high tax rate combined with skyrocketing appraisals means our tax bills go up significantly every year because our values are going up every year, even when the rate itself doesn't. I know the argument is that this increase is only a penny. This is a jar of 4,237 cents. I brought this because the average homeowner in Pearland, this is what 1 penny increase can look like. It's not just a penny, it's a jar. For some of our neighbors, this jar is a tank of gas to get to work. For others, it's a bag of groceries. While it may seem small in a city budget for a family trying to make ends meet, this jar could be the difference. This is the real cost we're asking families to bear on top of a tax rate that's already too high to service our city's debt. Before you ask for this jar of pennies from us, we ask you to scrutinize the city's own spending. Are the consistent raises, premium benefits, constant purchase of new city vehicles, and new job positions more critical than the tank of gas or the groceries our residents are struggling to afford? Therefore, I respectfully ask that you table this measure and direct the city manager to present an alternative budget, one that freezes non-essential hiring and is built upon the no new revenue rate. Show us you understand what this jar of pennies truly means to the families you represent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Longoria. Thank you for your comments. So with that, we'll throw it open to questions, comments from council members. Seeing no one move in that direction, Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
Member Chavarria?
Aye.
Member Cade?
No.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
No.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Do you have any follow-up to that? I know we have the ratification vote. We'll get to that.
The motion passes 4-2.
All right. With that, we'll move to there's a 2-step process outlined in state law, and that's a ratification vote. Ms. Chavarria.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to approve providing for a separate ratification vote of the property tax revenue increase reflected in the budget. So moved.
Second.
All right. Same thing. We've got questions, comments. Actually, we've had questions and comments. Madam Secretary, we're going to call for the vote. This is on the ratification.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
No.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
No.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 4-2.
All right, with that, we'll move to new business item number 2. Ms. Chavaria, if you present that, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration of possible action, second and final reading of ordinance number 1651. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've already had staff report. We'll throw it open for questions, comments from council members. Again, we've had this discussion quite a bit. You have a question? Okay. So with that, Madam Secretary, we call for the vote. Chavaria at.
I'm sorry, we're on the tax rate, correct? And so we'll have to have that special motion made as part of it.
Okay.
It's in the exec summary of the first page of the agenda item.
I could do it. Yep, I got it.
You got it. Okay.
I move that the property rate be increased by the adoption of the tax rate of 0.630, which is effectively a 1.7% increase in the tax rate. So moved.
Second. Second. We have a motion and a second. We've had questions, comments, as well as staff report on that. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
No.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 5-1.
All right. With that, we'll be moving to public hearing number 2. We do? Okay. Martin is presenting tonight. Martin, would you read into the record the reason for the public hearing and then move into your staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Public hearing number 2, this is a request by Genesis Property Development applicant on behalf of Indris Hauser Incorporated owner for approval of a conditional use permit for an expansion to an existing development for a warehouse and light assembly use within the Beltway district of the Clear Creek Spectrum Plan Development on approximately 16.921 acres. This property is generally located at 14525 Kirby Drive. So in summary, this is a request for expansion on an existing site. That expansion is about 18,150 square feet. Again, onto the existing Indris Hauser development. That proposal for the 18,000 square feet will be for the warehouse and light assembly use. And this is being brought forward because District A out of that planned development requires approval of a conditional use for that proposed use. So staff met with the Planning and Zoning Commission, and from there we sent out, or prior to that, we sent out all of the legal ads and notices. There were no questions or comments in support or in opposition of. And then to get you a look at the aerial here, you can see the existing developed Indris Hauser site. Surrounding uses, you've got the Beltway immediately to the north. Then there's property under construction to the south, and then some undeveloped property to the east and west. Again, taking a look at the future land use plan, this is all within the professional services, and the proposed use is congruent with the professional services district. This is the supplied site plan for the site. You can see that area outlined in red. That's where the expansion for the warehouse use is. The remainder of the site with the 2 additional developments are for future expansions of the office component or other accessory uses to the site. Here are some proposed elevations, specifically of the portion of the development that requires the CUP. And then in staff's analysis, this meets the criteria for approval and is consistent with the comprehensive plan, thoroughfare plan, and surrounding uses. Staff recommended approval of the requested CUP, and then the Planning and Zoning Commission at their meeting voted 6-0 to recommend approval of the CUP with no additional conditions. With that, Mayor, I'll pass it back to you.
All right, thank you for that. Is the applicant present? There we go. Do you have a presentation or just here to answer any questions? Wonderful. If we get to that and we have some questions, I'll have you introduced for the record at that point. All right. With that, we'll turn to the public for those wishing to offer testimony for or against this proposed request.
We have one.
Oh, we have one to sign up. That's right. So we'll call Mr. Bill here in just a second. Go ahead.
Bill Polano, is that
That's
you?
him. That's him.
Okay.
All right.
Well, he's just here for questions.
He's here for questions. All right. So with that, we'll turn to the public. Those wishing to offer for or against this proposed request can go to the podium and give us your name. For the record, you have 3 minutes to speak. Second attempt, those wishing to offer testimony for or against this proposed request. Third and final time, those wishing to offer testimony for or against. Seeing no one move in that direction, we will turn it over to questions, comments, and concerns from City Council. Seeing no one, oh, go ahead. You got it?
I was just going to say, Enders Hauser's been a great partner for our community, so I'm glad to see you guys expanding.
All right. With that, we'll close this docketed public hearing and move to new business item number 3. Mr. Byron, would you present that, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, consideration and possible action, resolution number R2025-CUP 2025-0366. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had staff report as well as the applicant here. If we have any questions, with no questions during the public hearing, so Madam Secretary will call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Koza,
Aye.
Member Chavadilla,
Aye.
Member Cade,
Aye.
Member Fernandez,
Aye.
Member Patel.
Aye.
The motion passes 6-0.
All right, with that, you kind of notice with all these public hearings, they're kind of the same over and over again. So as we go through them, that's kind of the repetition that we'll get into. With that, public hearing number 3, Martin, same drill.
Thank you, Mayor. For public hearing number 3, this is a request by Barbara Rodriguez, applicant, on behalf of Michelle Castaneda, owner, for approval of a conditional use permit for accessory dwelling unit use within the suburban residential 15 district on approximately 0.89 acres of land. This is generally located at 3637 Wingtail Way. So this is a request to allow for the renovation in addition to an existing accessory dwelling unit, also known as an ADU, within the footprint of an existing accessory structure on the property. The existing ADU has been present since before the Unified Development Code, and it is 388 square feet within the 714 square foot garage. The proposal before you is to expand that ADU up to 731 square feet and then shrink the garage down to 373 square feet. Again, we've sent out notice on this. There was one phone call just requesting some additional information about process. And to give you a look at the aerial, you can see this is all within single-family residences within the SR15 zoning district. Taking a look at the future land use and the place type, this is within an established residential estate area. And then to give you a couple pictures of the actual detached garage, as you can see, it is detached from the primary structure, and then highlighted here in between the red goalposts is the approximate area of the expansion. So the existing accessory unit is to the left. The new expanded area would go into this area, and then the remaining garage would be in this area. This is a breakdown look for their proposed floor plan showing the expansion. And then staff finds that the proposed conditional use permit meets most of the established criteria for approval of a CUP. The proposed expansion of the ADU is not changing the existing character of the surrounding residential neighborhood and is supporting of the character of the primary use on the property. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the requested CUP with the following condition. This condition is the same condition that we typically adhere to with accessory dwelling units, and that it shall allow for the accessory dwelling unit to be occupied by a person who is related to the person who occupies the primary dwelling unit on the subject property by first or second degree of consanguinity or affinity. We took this to the P&Z. P&Z voted 5-1 to recommend approval with the recommended condition. With that, Mayor, I'll pass it to you.
Sounds good. With that, is the applicant present? Right here. Same thing. Do you have a presentation or just here to answer any questions? Answer questions? All right. Thank you for being here tonight. With that, we'll throw it open to the public for those wishing to offer testimony for or against this proposed request. Go to the podium, give us your name for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. I see Bill headed that way. So, Bill, just give us your name.
How do you know my name?
Just give us your name.
I'm a Bill Baldy, resident of Wesley there on Wingtail. I'm for this because our deed restrictions do allow a family member to be added on to their home.
Thank you, sir. Second attempt, those wishing to offer testimony for or against. Third and final time, those wishing to offer testimony for or against this proposed request. Seeing no one move in that direction, we will throw it open for questions, comments, concerns from City Council. Ms. Chavaria.
Thank you, Mayor. I think y'all know my concern is how are we going to enforce this? How do we know that this is going to be for a family member now and in the future? So that really is my concern. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Koza?
Thank you, Mayor. I stand with Member Chavaria. I'll ask our legal department on the CUP shall only allow the accessory dwelling unit to be occupied by a person who is related to the person who occupies the primary dwelling unit on the subject property by first or second degree of consanguinity or affinity. Can you please enlighten me how we would enforce that?
As we've stipulated in the past, it's virtually impossible to enforce that specific regulation without having personal information, blood tests, things of that nature. And that it's, as you can see, that's a challenge. That's not the role of government, and that's not what we want to be doing, is trying to obtain that type of information to enforce regulations.
Okay. So thank you for clarifying that. Along those lines, it's one of those deals when we put this type of stipulation in there, it's pretty much unenforceable without having a DNA test, and not so concerned with the family that lives there and the issues that might be there for a family member. It's when the property sells and future use of the property turns over to somebody that would rent it, maybe might not be able to afford it, and say, hey, this is something we could rent out. In previous things like this with short-term rentals, they lend themselves to, hey, this is my family member, whether it is or whether it isn't. And I have seen these type things go south within a neighborhood until one does. It's one of those situations where until it's next door to you, you're not worried about it until it does become a problem. So I will be against this. It's been my position all along, so nothing's changed there. Thank you.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had a similar request like this come up. I believe it was in, totally just blanked on it.
Shady Crest
Thank you.
behind us.
Shady Crest. Thank you. I was Shadow Creek, and it was not right. It was out in Shady Crest. So where is Mr. Bill? There you are back there. I'll say the same thing to you that I said to that family. This is always a struggle when you deal with personal property rights versus what's best for the community, what's best for the neighborhood. And the reality is as Member Koza said, It's not something that the city's going to be able to enforce. It's just not possible. So while I will support your request because it's your property and you already have an existing build out in there that preceded the UDC, if it becomes a problem, it's really going to be incumbent upon the neighborhood to try to do something about it. And so as long as you guys understand that, that's what I said to the residents in Shady Crest as well, then I'll support you supporting your neighbor. But just know that that's not something that the city can really get involved in, you know. So I just want to make sure that that's clear as we move forward with this.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Patel?
Thank you, Mayor. Would the applicant go to the podium, please?
And Ms. Rodriguez, if you would, just give us your name for the record. Thank you.
Well, so Ms. Rodriguez couldn't make it, so
Oh,
I am the owner.
Okay. If you go ahead and give us your name for the record, please.
Michelle Castaneda.
Got it?
So, Ms. Castaneda, you're building this for somebody to live in there, the person who's living there, you're renting that property, correct?
I'm not renting it. It's actually, it's a build out for my parents.
It's a build out for your parents. Okay. Can I ask you how long you've been at that property?
About 15 years.
Okay. You're a good daughter. Good for you.
Thank you for that. Any other questions, comments from council? Seeing none, we will move to new business item number 4. Ms. Cade, would you place that on the table, please?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R 2025-CUP 2025-0334. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had applicant as well as staff presentation as well as questions and comments. Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
Member Cade?
No.
Member Fernandez?
No.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram? Aye. Member Koza?
Nay.
Member Chavarria?
No.
The motion fails 2-4.
All right, we'll move on to public hearing number 4. Martin, same drill.
Thank you, Mayor. Public hearing number 4, this is a request by Stephanie Vasquez J. Morales Incorporated, applicant on behalf of Mala Gopal and I'm going to try my best, Thundarajan Gopalakrishnan, owners, for approval of a conditional use permit for a recreation center private for-profit use within the Garden O'Day mixed-use zoning district on approximately 9.506 acres. The site has a general location of 1826 O'Day Road. So in summary, the applicant is proposing to subdivide the property to develop approximately 7,500 square foot community center or community event center on the eastern portion, and then a single family detached dwelling towards the rear with a shared access through a flag lot along the north property line of the residence. The event center is designed to host a variety of cultural, social, and community-oriented events, and the conditional use permit is only required for the proposed event center. The single-family home is by right within the zoning district. So staff sent out the public notices and held the public hearing with the Planning and Zoning Commission. So far received prior to the P&Z, there were 45 written against and then 1 neutral. And then at the public hearing, there were 9 speakers who were against. There were additionally 2 petitions in opposition that were provided at the P&Z meeting in total with 134 signatures. Then taking a look at the aerial and zoning map with surrounding uses, you see large lot residences, a mobile home park to the south, detention facilities, and then a construction company. And then taking a look at the future land use map and the place types, this area is within the compact residential. So as you can see, the civic and institutional uses are a secondary land use towards the compact residential. Here you can see a site plan of the proposed subdivision with the shared access and the commercial lot. We'll get into the proposed rendering. Just for ease of knowledge here, this facade or this elevation of the facade would be what you would see from O'Day Road. The short side of the building would be the interior to the development. In staff's analysis, the proposed CUP meets the established criteria for approval of a CUP with conditions that are proposed by staff. The proposed use is also consistent with the policies of the comp plan and the thoroughfare plan. So with that, staff recommends approval of the requested CUP with the following conditions: that the proposed use be limited on the parcel to a maximum 450 feet west of the O'Day Road right-of-way, and then that a minimum 15-foot landscape strip containing large shade trees must be provided along the north side of the full length of the driveway within the shared access easement. That large shade trees with a minimum 2-inch caliper measured at 12 inches above the root ball shall be provided, with the total caliper inches equal to at least 1 inch for each 10 feet of length of the shared access path. Continued, staff recommends the required buffer along the north property line of the proposed use shall include ornamental trees with a minimum 2-inch caliper measured at 12 inches above the root ball shall be provided, with the total caliper inches equal to at least 1 inch for each 15 feet of lot depth, and a continuous row of shrubs with a minimum height of 3 feet at the time of planting. That the proposed non-residential development will be required to provide a buffer to the proposed residence to the west within the boundaries of the subject land. The buffer shall meet the requirements of section 2.4.3.3 F and G of the Unified Development Code, and that a minimum of 50% of the facade that fronts O'Day shall be masonry, stucco, or EIFS material, and that a minimum 15% of the facade that fronts O'Day must be transparent. So just in summary, these recommendations are largely in part due to having some consistency with buffering requirements in between what would typically be applicable for a non-residential development adjacent to residential developments. The buffering within the Garden O'Day district is more lax than typical. So this ensures that there's some consistency with the amount of landscaping that would normally be provided along those buffers. P&Z heard this at their regular meeting and voted 1-5 to recommend approval of the requested CUP with staff's recommended conditions. That action, bring it to City Council, implies just a simple majority is necessary to approve the request. With that, Mayor, I'll pass it back to you.
Sounds good. We will turn it over to the applicant if the applicant is present. If you have a presentation, is the applicant here? There we go. You have a presentation for tonight? Perfect. Thank you. Come to the podium if you would. Go ahead and give your name for the record and then move into your presentation.
Hello, my name is Javier Morales, and I'm here representing the Go Pauls for the Curral Codal Community Center. I believe our presentation is... All right, evening Mayor, evening Council, citizens. We're very excited that the Go Pauls are bringing the Currar Codal Community Center and really seeking to bring language, art, and a culture and a real sense of community, which they have previously in the community as well. So just to really quickly, yes, overall the site's approximately 9.5 acres. And we're working with approximately 1.8 acres will be the commercial community center up front. As you can see, there's a wide berth from O'Day Road There's a detention easement between the right-of-way and the front of, so this property, this development will be far off the roadway to limit any impact of noise and traffic and concerns like that. It's off the roadway significantly. So, hearing the input from the planning and Z and community and working with them, we did a slight update to the 3D rendering. We added additional masonry wall, and we also added full-length windows across the frontage just to bring in more light to the community center. So we are 100% hearing P&Z's concerns, and we completely agree with the plan of action that they laid out. And the Go Pauls and Community Center, we really want to be a partner with the community, and we plan on adhering to all those guidelines and putting them into full effect. So further, just speak on the utilization of what this community center is going to try and do. We really want to have fundraisers, community charity events. There will be religious gatherings and ceremonies. We want to offer to the community classes such as meditation, yoga, music lessons, dance lessons, anything just to implement community and a real sense of art and culture. School dances, corporate meetings, if for some reason, family events, even hosting public hearings and community events. Maybe down the road, pop-up, art events or little markets for the community. So benefits in general, we just wanted to clarify, this is a nonprofit community center put forth by the community. And it's really here to promote the heritage and culture and a sense of community. The Kudal Foundation has a history of really giving back. They've worked with the University of Houston and the Council for Cultural Relations. They've also, since 2016, participated here locally with the SEVA Clinic, which offers free medical care to those in need. So there's an established history of giving back to the community, and the Go Pauls would love the opportunity to continue that and really commit for years to come to the community. So that being said, we continually want to support the community, and we want to hear the concerns, and we want to work through them with the city and the citizens. The developer is very much willing to adjust accordingly to make this happen for the benefit of the community. So we're here asking for the conditional use permit. The next item that we'll do is we'll work on a traffic improvement impact analysis, and a simple requirement of any event, we'll have police officers to guide traffic, and we'll write that into the policies for any rentals. So we really want to make every effort to do the right thing by the community and the citizens. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you for that. Obviously, we may have some questions for you when we get to the question and answer period, so stand by. We appreciate you being here tonight. So with that, we will move to our public portion of it. Those wishing to offer testimony for or against this proposed request. Before we do have 7 people who signed up to speak to this particular item. We're going to call those in the order in which that you turn those in. So we'll do that during the public hearing portion. Mayor Pro Tem, if you'll start those off.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Javier Morales just spoke. Okay. Mala Gopal. You'll make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. You got 3 minutes to speak, and thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm Mala Gopal, moved to Pearland in 1998. I'm a founder and president of Coral Kodal Foundation in USA. This organization is providing art, culture, language to the young kids involved in community services through many organizations like a Meenakshi Temple and a Seva Clinic, International Seva, and many other organizations have been doing service to the community, teaching heritage language last 25 years at Meenakshi Temple and various places, raised fund for Ike, Hurricane Harvey, and many other disasters, helping to the community through Meenakshi Temple and Tamil Mandram and many other international seva. Coral Kodal is providing services to the community like a rich culture and family value. Associated with the Children's Assessment Center in downtown, we've been doing book drive and a clothing drive, and been helping volunteer for the holiday times and toy drive. Many things we are doing with them, and all the young kids will get involved in that. I believe Coral Kodal will provide more services to this community and creating platform for our next generation, show their talent and help improve their capability with all of your support. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity here for explain in my view. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, I'm going to try, and if I mess it up, I'm sorry. Gopal Krishnan. And if you just state your name for the record, you have 3 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Dr. Gopala Krishnan. Actually, I'm practicing and serving in the Pearland community since '98. We have done so many drives and services. One, of course, is Seva Clinic, and we are seeing patients who have no insurance. We see them every Thursday since 2017. Even during the COVID time, we were helping the Pearland community with who has no insurance. And now we have also worked with Christian Helping Hands and built the clinic, which is helping us now. And as a second project, the Coral Kodal, I'm decided to support in providing a place to do the service. I think Mala Gopal explained about the vision of Coral Kodal. Thank you so much. And of course, the community have raised some concerns, and it's not a surprise. And I'm very happy that I'm moving into the community neighborhood who really cares. Even if I live in that place, I would vote down because the information is not sufficient. So this is basically a service related center. So I like the city to fix all the issues or the concern raised by the community so that our architect can do the design, and we have enough lands to increase the parking, and we can do anything that could contain the sound and do not disturb the neighborhood. And I'm also going to live in the same compound, so definitely I'm more concerned than anybody else because I will be disturbed first. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Ruben Maldonado. Same drill if you want to state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. And Alex Cravey, you will be next.
Okay, my name is Ruben Maldonado, and I'm here tonight to voice my strong opposition to the proposed rezoning of this property at 1826 O'Day Road. My address is 1800 O'Day Road, right to the north there. Like many other small areas in Pearland, O'Day Road offers its residents a unique country feel and character that is central to why so many of us chose to live there. I would like to follow up real quick on the first public hearing meeting that we had. The applicant's representative stated that the applicant intends to live in a residence on the property. However, the details provided were vague, and based on the information so far, it appears more likely that the true intent is to house guests associated with the event center. The representative also mentioned that the applicant has donors, but no further explanation was provided regarding who these donors are or what influence they may have on the project. Donors typically expect a return on their investment, which would naturally require frequent rentals of the event center. A member of the city staff stated that the event center would open towards O'Day Road. The doors, I guess they corrected it right here, are actually facing north to where our properties are. So each time those doors are open, no matter what type of mitigation you use, we're going to get the noise in. During the hearing, a zoning committee member remarked that everyone is okay with building things as long as it's not in my backyard. And went on to say that if we focus on what might happen in 10 years, then nothing will ever get built. And while there is some truth in that, I believe the opposite is also true. We must think about what our community will look like in 10 years. How many more car washes do we really need along Highway 35? Development may generate tax revenue, but at what cost to the safety, character, and quality of life in our neighborhoods? My neighbors and I firmly believe placing an event center at this location is completely incompatible with the existing residential nature of our community. Such development would bring serious negative impacts to the surrounding families. One of our primary concerns is noise, alcohol, and environmental nuisances. The proposed facility includes live entertainment, a wet bar, and commercial-grade kitchen. Noise from daytime and late-night events would disrupt the peace and quiet of our community values. Alcohol sales raise concerns about impaired driving, public disturbances, and disorderly conduct. Even with pollution control measures, smoke and odors from a commercial kitchen will be a nuisance. No system is 100% effective. Additionally, grease traps and food waste may attract rodents, further degrading the quality of life for nearby homeowners. Commercial facilities, I guess, closing, my time is up. I urge each of you to consider how you would feel if such a facility were placed next to your own home. Approving this permit would not only harm our community, but also set a dangerous precedent for future rezoning decisions. If this event center is truly such a good fit for Pearland, then why is it not being built next to the applicant's own home in Clear Lake?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Alex? Same drill, and Mabel will be right after him. State your name for the record. We no longer require address, so just name, and you got 3 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. My name's Alex Cravey. I live on O'Day Road, just south of the proposed development. I have a lot of the same concerns as Mr. Maldonado. This is a rural, kind of a sleepy. Formerly, there used to be a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. That was raised to 40 miles an hour. Then McHard Road went in. We have a lot more traffic now. We've had a lot more accidents. There's a little bit more vandalism, graffiti, and excuse me. My concern is that a commercial event center will draw in more of the same. There'll be more traffic, more accidents. Like Mr. Maldonado mentioned, there's going to be a wet bar there. Every time you serve alcohol, you can't control everybody that comes in and out of this place. There can be alcohol-related events. O'Day Road is got very little sidewalks that connect to it. There's a lot of foot traffic up and down O'Day Road, even though there's a lot of people that speed. Not long ago, a person on horseback was struck on O'Day Road. They had to put down the horse. We live within view of where they had to put the horse down. So we feel that it's not really congruent with the use of the neighborhood. We have 35, we have Broadway. There's a number of commercial zones that would better suit a community center. Also, only have one other thing on one of the slides. It showed that it was approved by the P&Z Commission 1 to 5, but that seems like an interesting way of saying they voted it down. I just wanted to confirm that. They voted against. said voted 1 to 5 for approval on the slide.
Slide.
That's all I've got.
Can we get clarity on that real quick? I think the slide said they voted 1 to 5 to approve with conditions.
Yeah, I agree, but I believe that was a vote against it, correct?
Correct. So it's 1 vote for, 5 votes against. So we always take recommendations for approval. It's whether or not someone votes for it or against it, to which it turns into a recommendation to council for approval or a recommendation of denial. This ends up being a denial.
Says in our packet, the motion failed by a vote of 1 to 5. The vote of the commission constitutes a negative recommendation for council approval. So keep going.
Thank you, sir. Mabel, state your name for the record, and you can adjust that if you need to. Thank you for being here, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Mabel Cravey, and I live at 1920 O'Day Road. I've come here before to protest the construction of a gas station on my friend's behalf, but this time it hits a lot closer to home, literally. When I was first told that they were going to build an event center just 2 lots away from our house, my first thought was no. This is not the right spot for this kind of business. First of all, the event center will have a bar that will serve alcohol, and I'm not saying that anybody will be drunk, but there's always the possibility. And if people were to drive after drinking, then that presents a whole new problem. Secondly, the proposed event center will host weddings and parties, both of which can continue late into the night with music, lights, noise, and other disturbances. My sister is a year old and she needs her sleep. I don't think it's fair to deprive a baby of her sleep for a party. I also have to wake up at 6:15 every school morning, and I also need all the sleep I can get. One last thing is the traffic. It already takes 2 to 3 minutes to get out of our driveway every morning, and this event center is only going to increase the traffic. So before you vote for or against this event center, I want you to please take in consideration the comfort and safety of my family and the families around us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. I have to say, that's impressive. It's not easy to do, so well done. Andrea? Go. And this will be our last one.
My name's Andrea Cravey. I live at 1920 O'Day Road. I'll repeat that. I live at 1920 O'Day Road. I live two lots over from where this event center is projected to go. Our house is on that screen that you guys posted up there. I live there with my husband and my 3 kids that are here tonight, the talking baby in the corner. We've lived here for 10 years. We chose that house purposefully for the way that the life on that street and in that area is. I was interested to learn more about the expectations of the event center and what it holds for this location in our community. The size of the expected events, still unsure. How much parking they plan to have, looks like a lot, but they said they could grow even more. What happens when they overbook? Is it open every day? Is it open every night? But with the limited information that we still have seen, I don't want it. I'm not against event centers, but I am against an event center that's planning to host live music, large-scale events, a bar, and a place where I live with my family and our neighbors live with their families. O'Day Road is a narrow road, 1 lane either direction, and no shoulders. It has poor lighting, deep ditches, and no sidewalks. It's a difficult and unforgiving road for anyone, and I'd be frightened to see what would happen to people after being served alcoholic drinks and trying to navigate O'Day Road, especially at night. Hickory Slough is a drainage waterway that runs through Pearland. Specifically, it runs the length of our property, then it turns in front of our home and crosses our property along O'Day Road. 2 lots over, it crosses Hickory Slough and runs towards Hatfield Road. Where the slough crosses O'Day is a small bridge. The driveway closest to the bridge is the projected site of this event center. I don't know what they're planning to do about the driveway, and I'm not an engineer, but it seems like it would be very difficult to move the slough and that bridge, but not difficult to build a site of an event center that's not actually built. It's not a good location. If you remember the hit and run accident involving the civilian and the horse last year, this is the same spot. This is the bridge I'm talking about. I didn't see the accident, but we saw all the commotion afterwards and the gunshots putting the horse down because of how close we are. My speculation is that there was not enough room for one car or maybe two cars and that horse to cross that bridge. So imagine if a person is walking over this bridge at night to get to or from this event center. It's not a good location. Lastly, I have a petition that's signed by 116 people that agree that this is not a good location for this event center. We are requesting not to rezone this property address. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that, ma'am. Thank you for all that came out and spoke tonight on that. So we're still in the public hearing. We'll go to third and final time, those wishing to offer testimony for or against. Yes, sir. Make your way to the podium and give your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. And Ms. Craven, real quick, is that in addition to the petitions that we've already received? And if okay, all right. Mr. Koza, can you reach that? Yeah, there you go. Thank you, man. Yes, sir.
Yes, hello, good evening. My name is Roberto Serrano, and I'm the most effective one because I live right north of the building that is they want to build and it's gonna get built, and we are the most effective ones because we are neighbors. We are gonna hear everything that's gonna go on, live music, whatever. I mean, whatever they're gonna do, we're gonna be the most effective ones. Just imagine me coming from work on a Friday or Saturday night. We just want to come home and have peace and rest on your own house, and just coming home on a Friday or Saturday, getting there and me listening to that old music. Not only me, my family. Me and my wife used to live in Houston. Before we moved to Pearland, we searched. We made a big search before making that decision. And we've been there for 13 years already. I mean, I don't have nothing against the owners. If they want to build, the residents, hey, they're more than welcome. That neighborhood is peaceful, nice and quiet. Yes, we do have more traffic because of the Mac Road we got built, but hey, that's the way it is. But I mean, this is not the right place for this all to be built. Pearland has enough spaces on 518 for that place to get built. I'm sorry. But thank you and for everything.
You're good. Thank you for that. Final time, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Seeing none, we will move to City Council questions, comments, concerns. Anybody have any questions?
I just have a comment.
Okay.
Again. Thank you, Mayor. So, well, first of all, thank you all so much for what you do for the SIVA Clinic. I mean, it's a great organization, but unfortunately, you have a lot of concerned citizens, and their concerns are noise, traffic, parking, changes of a residential character, safety of children, alcohol, and then a reduction of property value. So, unfortunately, I'm a no.
Mr. Koza?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know if this is for legal or for the development department, but in the notifications right here, there are 16 notifications. And my quick math here comes up with 3.2 people out of the notifications here. Roberto Serrano, Maria Chapa, and of course the Cravies that had multiple family members speak. In this right here, to hit the 20% threshold, does 3.2 equate to 4, or does it equate to 3?
In this particular case, this is a CUP. It's not actually a zoning case. So the 20% rule would not be triggered. So regardless tonight, it will take just a simple majority.
Okay, thank you very much. That's,
sure.
I just wanted clarity. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Ms. Kay?
I just wanted to say that I think an event center is a great idea, just probably not here, sorry. This many residents with great arguments, it's going to be a no for me also.
Any others?
I do have a couple questions. I know their site plan is shown on here, and it's shown to have a, real quick, the CUP would carry the property, or would it only carry the 1.66 acres?
So, Mayor, with this request, we were still working with the applicant on how much property they were going to need. That's the reason why staff recommended the 450-foot, this first condition, that it be limited to the parcel to a maximum 450 feet west of the O'Day right-of-way, just to let there be some variation in potential for parking, for buffering, for the site to lay out. But it would ultimately be for this portion of the property.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the consultant. He may know this question. I don't know if you've engaged DD4 or not. I know on the plat it shows some easement for future right-of-way for that drainage ditch to be widened. Do you know, have you had conversations with Drainage District number 4 yet?
We have had discussions. That's why it's important to work with the 450-foot limit of the right-of-way.
Have they indicated needing more?
Not at this time, but again, it's always future development. But there is an additional buffer even off of landscaping from the current easement.
Yeah, my thing is we give you an approval and you've got this much room, and next thing you know, you're back in here because you don't have enough. We go through this drill again.
Fair.
Now, so having said that, I was on council when this area was annexed into the city. And so I'm going to ask Martin, probably should have thrown this to you earlier, but if this ends up in a tie, I'm going to be a no vote tonight because I think the neighbors have some good points here. I think this area has drastically changed over the last 25 years since it was annexed into the city. And so this was actually put into the Garden O'Day mixed use district. For those that live in the area, if you've only lived there a very short amount of time, 10 years to 15 years, you're coming in after the fact. If you lived there, when we annexed the area, many years ago, you may recall this, but there's areas along this roadway as well as Garden Road that have businesses and residential mixed together. Okay, so this was in the county, it was in our ETJ, so you had different uses side by side. And so as we annexed, we created the mixed use district, so people who have lived there and been there together could do so moving forward. But it opens up, even on this particular property, it does open up by right types of businesses that could locate there, even if it's not an event center. And I understand the reasons against the event center, but I also want to make sure that you're aware there could be other uses there that are not residential. You are in a mixed use area. So if you've purchased there in the last 10 years, I heard some of the speakers say they've been there 10 years or they've been there 12 years or 13 years. This predates you buying the properties. So, somebody could come in and so Martin, what are some of the areas? It's pretty limited, but still could be allowed by right. One of the reasons we put a lot of the CUPs on these types of things so we could have this type of conversation with the residents in the area. I should have teed you up before then, so that's my fault. So,
Mayor, while he gets that pulled up, would you repeat the question one more time? I just want to make
really
sure I
and
caught
truly,
it.
what's allowed by right in the Garden O'Day mixed use district? So while he's doing that, member Fernandez has a question or comment.
Thank you, Mayor. Mine's more of a comment. I just want to say to everyone that came out, thank you. To the applicant presentation, to all the residents that came out. Hands down, I believe that the residents in this area got it right. I spent the weekend reading 43 forms that were against it. I read every single one of them. Obviously, those numbers have grown. That just came by us. Thank you to Dr. And y'all's involvement here in the city of Pearland. I just don't think that this is the right area for this. Hopefully, y'all can find something else somewhere else. Would I like to see something like this? Sure, if it's at the right area. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I know on the screen we've got the permitted and conditional uses. Go ahead, Martin. You might show the differences there.
Thank you, Mayor. So for this is a handy tool within our interactive map. So if you go through the interactive map, come on to zoning, then click through these tabs here. Once you've clicked on a property, you can find the zoning district and then find where there is a link to a description for all of the zoning districts. That'll take you, in this case, to this PDF, which has both the permitted and conditional use items all on this handy dandy page. First column is what is permitted by right. So some highlights here are bakery wholesale, dwelling, single family detached, microblading, food sales on or off premise, seamstress, tailor, laundry, dry cleaning, and then conditional use permits. You've got adult daycare business, convenience store without gasoline sales, private club, locksmith, a variety of things. They're typically in the lower intensity of commercial uses.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that for those that are here. There are some permitted uses like a church, place of worship, those types of things where that traffic and those types of things are going to be there. I wanted to highlight that for you since you're in here. Again, if I don't know if this will end in a tie, but if it does, anytime there's only 6 here, I always have to look through the agenda and find out which one they're going to throw to me to have me vote. So I just wanted to make that make sure that you're aware of that. So with that, any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I'm going to close this public hearing and move to new business item number 5. Mr. Fernandez, would you place that on the table, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration possible action resolution number R2025-CUP 2025-0318. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had opportunity to ask questions as well as hear from the applicant and the staff. So with that, Madam Secretary, I'm going to call for the vote.
Member Fernandez?
No.
Member Patel?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
No.
Member Koza?
Nay.
Member Chavarria?
No.
Member Cade?
No.
The motion fails 0-6.
All right. With that, moving.
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I make a motion to reconsider business item number 5, new business item number 4, please?
So you're making a motion to reconsider new business item number
4.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Darren, a little bit of uncharted water. Do we just, it's reconsidered. We have to vote on that?
Yes, so a motion to reconsider, and got a second. So now it is a debatable topic, but then it just takes a simple majority of the group to vote in favor of that motion to reconsider, and then we will go back to item number 4 to reconsider it.
So, Ms. Cade, reasons for reconsider?
I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I looked at something wrong on the item, and so
you want the opportunity.
I want the opportunity to vote again. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Any other questions or comments? So we need to vote on the reconsideration. So Madam Secretary will vote on the reconsideration.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Nay.
Member Chavarria?
No.
The motion passes 4-2.
So it's back. So we have to put it back on the table, or it's back on the table.
It's back on the table now.
Okay. So with that, I'm just going to turn right around and vote then. So Madam Secretary, we're back to voting on the actual item Consideration possible action resolution number R 2025 CUP 2025-033.
Mayor, does that include the staff recommendation or the P&Z condition?
It should.
Just
Is that a part of the original?
wanting to make sure my notes are good.
Mayor, just to make this cleaner, now that we've gone back, we're going to reconsider. I think it'll be better for the record to have a motion,
okay.
reread it with a motion, and if that
Kate, could you
includes
offer
to
that?
support the staff's recommendations, I would include that as part of that motion.
Kate, could you offer that, please?
Consideration and possible action, resolution number R 2025-CUP 2025-0334 with the recommendations from P&Z or from staff?
Staff.
From staff. So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on that? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
No.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Nay.
Member Chavadilla?
No.
Mayor Cole?
And the chair votes aye. I'm going to give the same reasons that Mayor Pro Tem did, and I believe you're a good family member to take care of your parents, so I appreciate that.
The motion passes 4-3.
So where were we? Let's see. Public hearing number 5. All right. Martin? Public hearing number 5.
Thank you, Mayor. Public hearing number 5. This is a request by Grand Development LLC, applicant and owner for approval of a conditional use permit for dwelling two-family use within the Oldtown mixed-use district to accommodate 4 two-family dwelling units on 4 separately platted lots totaling 0.424 acres of land. This property has general location for this property is 2523, 2525, 2527, 2529, and 2531 Grand Boulevard. So in summary, the applicant is proposing to develop 4 two-family residential buildings with 8 units overall on 4 adjacent lots, each measuring 37 feet wide by 125 feet deep. Each residential building will be identical with an approximate total area of 2,322 square feet and will be situated on an individual lot. Units will be designed for separate occupancy and will feature an attached garage that are accessed from Grand Boulevard. So in staff's notification, there were 2 written comments against and then 1 that presented at the public hearing that was also against. Taking a look at the aerial and zoning map, you can see single-family residences and then Iguana Rana's restaurant due west. This area is within the compact residential place type, which does support the proposed development. Proposed two-family dwelling site plan is here on the screen. And then you can see provided renderings from the applicant. Again, some more renderings. These are floor plans. You can see that 1 is accessed from the first floor and the second is accessed via the second floor. In staff's analysis, the proposed CUP meets 6 out of the 7 established criteria for approval of the CUP. Staff is concerned that the proposed driveways may conflict with future plans to enhance the streetscape of Grand Boulevard as detailed in the draft Oldtown revitalization plan. With that, staff recommends approval of the requested CUP with the following conditions: that the applicant shall provide rear-loaded garages with access from the alley. The garage shall be set back 20 feet from the rear property line in order for a vehicle to have adequate space to park in the driveway without encroaching into the alley, and that a balcony or porch or front porch will be required for each unit with a maximum size of 10 feet in width and 6 feet in depth. If support is provided for the rear-loaded garages for the proposed use, the Commission may consider whether additional conditions should be added regarding design elements for the front, side, or rear facades. With all of that said, this went to the Planning and Zoning Commission, where they voted 0 to 6 to deny the requested CUP with staff's recommended conditions. With that action, a simple majority of all council members is required in order to approve this request. With that, Mayor, I'll pass it over to you.
Is the applicant present? Do you have any presentation for tonight, or just here to answer questions? All right. Just give us your name for the record and then into your presentation.
Okay, my name is Chris Wilcox. I've lived in Pearland my entire life. So good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak regarding the proposed duplexes on Grand Boulevard. The Planning and Zoning Commission denied this request. I believe that the main concerns were that the duplexes would be rentals, that the garages would face the street instead of the alley, and they did not fit in with the neighborhood outlook. I'd like to respectfully explain why those reasons should not prevent approval. First, there is already a rental duplex just 3 lots north on South Grand that was approved by council through a CUP only a few years ago. Denying the site while allowing that would be inconsistent and unfair treatment of properties along the same street. Second, concerning the garage orientation, I understand the city has been working on another Oldtown site revitalization plan, which imagines a walkable, alley-oriented neighborhood. That's a great vision, and I support it, but on Grand Boulevard today, that vision is not really, not the reality. The overwhelming majority of homes and businesses on North and South Grand Boulevard are front-loaded, requiring alley garages here would not match that existing character. In fact, it would make this project stand out in a way that feels disconnected from the balance on the street. In addition to this, the conditional alley would directly touch multiple existing residences on Grand and Park. Every single one of them are front-loaded. Because of this, it is reasonable to assume that bedrooms oriented toward the rear of these homes, introducing consistent vehicular traffic in this area would result in ongoing noise, lighting, privacy impacts, all the existing residents. Third, this development would directly advance the city's 2040 comprehensive plan, which highlights multiple times the need for more missing middle housing, housing options between single-family homes and large-scale apartments. Duplexes like these are exactly what I thought the plan envisions, attainable small-scale homes that fit within existing neighborhoods. This project is a practical step forward. It provides housing Pearland needs, fits the existing neighborhood pattern, and aligns with the city's own long-term goals. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the council to rethink the P&Z denial and approve the CUP so this project can move forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. If we have any questions, we'll certainly have you back up, Mr. Wilcox. With that, we'll turn to the public. Those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request, go to the podium, give us your name. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Second attempt, those wishing to offer testimony for or against this proposed request. Third and final time, those wishing to offer testimony for or against this proposed request. Seeing no one move in that direction, we will turn it to council for questions, comments, and concerns. Mr. Patel.
Thank you, Mayor. I do appreciate you coming here today and explaining your viewpoint. Trent, I know on a Friday call, you explained that he could do townhouses by right. Is that correct on there?
I think maybe I'll let our community development folks make sure we answer that accurately.
Correct. So this property is zoned Oldtown mixed use. The Oldtown mixed use district allows townhomes, attached townhomes by right.
I guess on a property this size, how many do you think by right he would be able to put in? 8 as well, or it would be 5? And right now he's proposing 8 individual, I guess, units, correct?
Right, so it would be 8 units in total.
2-story, one being on the bottom, one being above it.
So I guess I'm having a hard time. I guess for you wanting this is because you can get 8 units to rent instead of 5, right? Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please.
The reason is if we do townhomes and stretch them out, I mean, the driveways are going to be 12 foot apart.
Sir, if you would state your name
I'm
for the
sorry,
record
Brian
real quick. Yeah,
Starr,
thank you.
Fairland, Texas, no, 2818 Morenci Street. Sorry. So the reason why we did this, if we do townhomes, we're going to cram them in there. They're going to be 12 foot apart on the driveways. And we thought, you know, hey, we'll spread them apart, give a little more room, and be able to really meet the intent of the neighborhood. The buildings are going to look pretty much, not perfect, but pretty close to the Solon development that's down the street. Really, the only difference is they're going to be front loaded and not rear loaded. And I mean, unfortunately, just because there's so few lots, we can't suck up the alleyways. You know, I mean, just unfortunately, we can't afford to do that cost to build, you know, extend alleyways to the places and on 4 lots instead of 50. But anyways, sorry.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions, comments, Mayor Pro Tem?
My biggest concern, it's not if front loading. I get what you're saying. Everything on the street's front loaded anyway. My biggest concern is there's a big difference between a single family home and 2 single family homes that are rented stacked on top of each other. And so, yeah, 5 townhouses, if that would actually fit with all the required setbacks and landscaping, that might be a little bit more dense, but these are very small driveways that you're looking to put a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home on the first floor and a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home on the second floor. So that's my biggest concern is you're going to have less vehicles and less parking with townhomes than you're going to have with this, in my mind. Yeah, please.
Oh, yeah.
To increasing the size of the driveways as much as we can. I mean, right now, I know the garages are kind of small, the driveways are tight, and if we need to increase that a little bit to make some more room, we're not opposed to that. It's just whatever we need to do to make this work, really. I mean, financially.
I mean, and I appreciate you saying that. I understand that. What I don't want to see is you end up having cars parked on South Grand because they can't get off the road into the driveways and get out of the way.
Understood. But if they're townhomes, it's going to be a 1-car garage. They're still going to be stacked, and the driveway is going to be 12 foot instead of 20 foot. I mean, it's the same thing, just.
Well, but you're not putting 2 families that are, you know, 4 to
it's just
8 people in there. So that's where my consternation comes in. Is it's a very different dynamic between a townhome and a 2-story rental property. If you went the townhome direction, would you still be looking to rent these, or would they be for sale? These are going to be for rent.
They'll be clearly. I mean, the townhomes are ultimately going to be for rent. What we're trying to do is get something for our retirement. I mean, that's what we're doing. So we don't want to just sell it and be done. I mean, we're trying to build something.
Understood. You're looking for mailbox money. Yeah. I understand that. So just wanted to be clear, if it went one direction or the other, it would still be a
We're looking at rentals either way.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a comment on the emails that we received, or I guess P&Z received. In this report, it stated that there was 2 in opposition. Is that correct?
Correct. 2 written in opposition.
And were those 2 the Simses and Mr. Eskine?
I believe so.
That's what, looking through here, because today we received an email from Mr. Eskine, and in it he kind of goes through a long way to get there, but states that he would be in favor of something like this over townhomes. So with that email, I guess it removes 1 against, and whether you call it support or neutral, I don't know, but he said if he had his druthers that he'd prefer this over townhomes. So I just wanted to make that abundantly clear to everybody that it's not as what the report is, because we got this email at 4:08 today. So
kind of came in late. Yeah. Ms. Kate?
I prefer these to the townhomes as well, but rear loading would be much preferable, honestly. And if you saw the Oldtown revitalization plan, Grand has got there's big plans for Grand, and to have cars parked on it, it takes away from some of that because it's going to be a festival street. Rear loading would be much preferred. I don't know what the price difference is. Developing is not my gift, but I say that a lot. Maybe it sounds like nothing is my gift, but
If you don't mind, right now it's just not practical to do that. Plus, we also think that creates more, area for crime or people to be coming through the back alleyways and people roaming through things of that nature. But we would be willing to accommodate whatever front parking we would need to not have cars on Grand Avenue, whatever that would take. But we're trying to build something that fits in with the neighborhood.
and I appreciate that. I do think they look good. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Yeah, it's a tough deal because obviously with Sullivan, we're trying to change the narrative, change the look, change the feel in the old town site, spending a lot of time and effort with the redevelopment plan. We certainly want it to be. So, Mr. Patel, if this was, so this would be an area where if the city wanted to offer and help, on the back alleys, then this would be a place where we could potentially do that. Obviously, water and sewer is there, but that's where it would, just like we made a deal with Sullivan on water, sewer, and drainage and those types of things, upgrade for not just them, but the area. So,
And I do appreciate that, Mayor. And this is exactly what I'm saying. Like, we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on the master plan for this community or this area. And I think we have developers who are willing to come in here, spend money. And if there's a way we can make it where it's a win-win for both of us, right? I mean, we all are kind of stuck on wanting that feel and look that we agreed on Old Town site. And I don't know if there is a way that we can offer some kind of incentive to them to say, we'll help you cover the alley costs, or we say no and they go build townhouses. I mean, it's what do we want?
I guess for being able to make that offer, it'd have to go in front of EDC.
yeah, I mean, obviously,
We'd have to postpone it.
yeah, we mentioned it earlier, so that's why I'm bringing it up. This would be an area if we were inclined to do it. I mean, I like the look and feel of what you're trying to do. And I think you're understanding what we're trying to do, and we've got to figure out how we can make something like that work.
Mr. Wilcox, would you go back to the podium? So what we're talking about here is assisting in the cost with the alleyway,
okay,
to make it a rear load instead of a front load. If that was to be the case, would you be open before we say, hey,
Yes,
let's
I would.
postpone it? I'd like to know if
100%.
that's something y'all would be open to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because what it would allow you to do is push up on the road a little bit more closer rather than the normal setback and have more in the back. So you could do that. But again, I see
Now,
Matt's here. We're trying to spend his money.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, he's going to have his board and everybody, all that be approved. So as far as this process, how long, if we were to postpone it, roughly how long, so that if that's what we did, would it be for these?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm sure we've got.
I think just to come up with a rough estimate of
rough cost
what that
estimate.
number
You've
would
got-
even be would
you've got
take us a few
Sullivan and
weeks.
what went into their plans for the alleyways. So I don't think it'd be hard to get a set of plans and a schematic to understand what a cost would be.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if they go through the process, is that process going to be a month? Is it 6 weeks? Is it 2 months? I understand we got to get all that stuff ironed out. It's got to be approved, but what type of timeline? So
Sure, so not committing to anything tonight?
Well, no, well, yeah.
But, the EDC board meeting's next week. We would definitely not meet that time schedule. So we're looking at October at the earliest. That's if we're able to get cost estimates put together in very, very short order. So October, November. I think November's our last meeting of the year. And then we'd have to bring that back.
Then it'd be December timeline, roughly speaking.
Yeah,
And I think, there would have to be some vetting of if this, I know we did some similar infrastructure on Sullivan Brothers, but that was a much larger scale. So I think that's what the board would have to weigh.
Right, but I'm just trying to give these gentlemen a kind of, if it's going to be December.
If we go that way, what's the time frame we're looking at?
December, January is what would be.
Yeah, I would say December, January at best.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
great.
real quick, Mayor.
Like-
And I would remind this council that when we first got on, or when I first got on an EDC, and Mayor, you may remember this, we actually had a line item specifically for Old Town Site grant program.
Right.
And so I think it's a great way to kind of bring that back and help, spend that money in that area. So that grant program was there. And we actually had $150,000, I believe, that we every year would allocate to businesses and things like this. So,
Right. So obviously, when we get to new business, so it's y'all's call. I mean, we can dispense and go tonight, or I mean, you've got townhomes that you can go and do, or give us the opportunity to vet this for a few months and then work with you along that way. And again, time's money, right? So we want to be cognizant of that.
If you would go to the podium.
So the mic can pick you up. We want to be cognizant of that, but at the same time, if we're setting a tone for this area, and we have the opportunity to do it, I mean, it brings that.
If it costs us a few months of soft costs, we'll suck that up. I mean, we want to work with Pearland. We want to do the right thing. We want to. I mean, really, I don't want to put townhomes there. That's why we didn't propose it in the first
Right.
place. We tried to go conditional use because I really think what we're proposing is the better way to do it. So yeah, we're willing to wait a few months to see what.
With that, Mayor,
Here we go.
Well, let's finish the public hearing and then we'll get to the.
Yep, I'm sorry.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
I want to ask one question about these big trees.
Yes.
Is
Which ones are we talking about?
I'm
sorry.
And I
In the
guess
rear lot.
they're in the back.
Yeah, the back. Okay.
If we do the rear loading, are those trees going to go away?
There may be some conflicts. There may be. I mean, I haven't looked at it in that dynamic. No, they're in the yards. There's some in the existing alleyway, but none of those are. Those are actually on our property.
you could replant, you could design them for the front then,
they're right here.
obviously. Hopefully.
Yes, but if we have to plant one for one caliper, no. I mean, some of those trees are 60 plus calipers. They're huge, huge. Especially the
That would be your EDC.
It's huge, gigantic.
OMB over there would.
I don't think I could plant enough trees on that property to meet that.
You might have lost my counterpartner here, so you shouldn't have said that.
Laney, we have the tree fund.
I mean, they are an existing single story or single family lot, so.
I tell you, we may be back here with the same plan or do something, but give us the opportunity to take a look at that and work with you. I think if we can do that and meet there, we can get more people on board with this, but we appreciate it. Any other last call for questions, comments during the public hearing? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, moving to new business number 6. If it's okay, would we need to put it on and postpone it, or can I move it to a future agenda?
I think the best way to do it is to postpone it to a future agenda. Normally, you want to do it to a definite agenda, but there's some things that need to be worked out. So I would say at the earliest possible agenda
so
after those things are worked.
We can just do that without putting it on the table.
If there's concurrence from the entire council.
That's what I was going to ask. If there's concurrence from the council to move this to a future date and a future agenda,
I would be in favor.
Everybody good with that? So
I'd be in favor.
let's do that. We won't vote on it tonight. We won't put it on the table, but let's move it, kind of suspended, work with us, and we'll see where we're going with it. All right? Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. With that, Mr. Patel, if you'll take number 7.
Yes, Mayor. Considering possible action on resolution number R2025-CUP 2025-2085. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any staff update or report?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor, members of council. I'm going to breeze through this rather quickly just to kind of summarize what we discussed previously and then show where we landed with the recommended conditions. So just to refresh, this is the applicant requesting an expansion of a chemical packaging or blending facility. They're wanting to add approximately 96,000 square foot of new construction to expand their process. The site work will include reworking the trailer storage areas, fire lanes, improved site access, a scale house to weigh the trucks, and additional employee and visitor parking. and along with expanding their fire protection system. Here we're just looking at the surrounding uses. As you can see, the light purple designates M1, which is light industrial. So you can see the area is all zoned M1. And there's a variety of things that surround this facility, including mixed industrial, drainage, an existing occupied residential structure there to the west, and then to the south, which is Orange Street. It abuts to residential property that is zoned M1 as well. Here, taking a brief look at the future land use plan, you can see the entire area is also zoned in manufacturing, which would be consistent with the requested conditional use permit. Here, taking a moment just to look at the applicant's proposed or tentative site plan. This is just conceptual. It's not tied to the conditional use permit, just to refresh on that little fact. In yellow, you can see the proposed 96,000 square foot building. And then you can see in the light tan area, see if my cursor will come up here, some of the storage area for the trailers that they're going to want to rework, the fire lanes that they'll actually pave with concrete, and then here just the potential for that to become a lab/office in the future. But again, this site plan is not binding. I do want to take a moment to call out the detention ponds here, and if the applicant does, this is something that came up at P&Z related to a wall. I'll look at that condition here in a moment. But when it comes to that discussion, I just want to call out this on the site plan that, if these ponds do end up being here, there could be some space, and it's just something to consider whenever we look at this condition here in a moment. Now, we're going to breeze through a few photos just to kind of acclimate to the condition of the site. These are looking at, as a refresher, this project does sit at Makawa and Shank intersection, and so these are just aerials looking down. This is Shank here on the left and Makawa here on the right. You can see some of the truck storage here. This is the existing occupied residential structure. This boundary back here is going back to Orange and coming up along the Makawa Road there. But again, here you can see some of the impervious cover amount, the truck storage, and the way they're using the site. And then you can see this proximity here along Makawa at this intersection from the existing building that's been there for decades. Again, just a couple of more images here. This is that Orange Street kind of property line that butts these residential structures here along Orange. Taking a moment just to show some of the canopy in this area where the expansion would occur. Here again, you'll see some of these conditions that were discussed previously, but this is the existing residential structure at 4902 Shank Road, and these are the 3 oak trees that you'll see here in a moment identified to be preserved for the project, and if something is to happen to them, they'll be replaced appropriately. Just taking a moment to show these along Shank Road. Again, just acclimating and continue to get a feel for the site. Here you can see some of the loading docks along Makawa. You can see the proximity to the right-of-way along with parking and the lack of buffer or screening, along these parked vehicles. And then again, you can get a feel for the sense of that building's proximity to the right-of-way. Continuing on with some more site photos just to show the amount of impervious coverage and on-site storage or outdoor storage in its proximity to the right-of-way. More photos just to get that feel. So this is the storage along Shank Road adjacent to that west residential property line. So this is that fence there now, and you can see the storage of 18-wheeler trailers along here. So just to take a moment to refresh on the conditions that were shown to P&Z on August 18th and that were discussed with y'all at the first public hearing or the second public hearing at our last meeting. So there were 3 conditions from staff: no outdoor storage within 75 foot of Shank Road. The area within 75 foot as identified in condition 1 shall be 100% landscaped. And then again, the oak trees at 4902 will be preserved. At P&Z, they did recommend approval 5-0, and Planning and Zoning Commission added a condition of a 6-foot masonry wall be provided adjacent to the residential property to the west along the southern property line adjacent to Horseshoe Bend platted properties. So just to take a moment to kind of refresh on what those conditions are, this is the 75-foot area at 4902 Shank where staff is requesting or recommending the condition for there to be no outdoor storage. Working with the applicant, the condition is specific to this lot only, and it's not about extending over here into the existing developed area. Here you can see the 3 trees we saw previously that are to be protected. And then this is an image illustrating where the masonry wall Planning and Zoning recommended would be required if approved. So this is that west property line adjacent to the residential, and down here is along the southern property line where those residential properties on Orange Street would be. So with that, just want to, this is the staff recommendation, and after some coordination with the applicant where we landed on the recommendations, to be clear, the applicant is not in full alignment with these recommendations, and we'll take a moment to go through that now. So on number one, I won't dive deep into that one just because there is alignment there. There's no, and the applicant's present, so they're welcome to disagree with me if they need to. But but number one, we appear to be on the same page with. Number two, the applicant is requesting that the UDC minimums be allowed and not what staff is recommending here, which is within that 75-foot setback where there's no outdoor storage. We're recommending that a 30-foot buffer be put there that cannot be developed in minus 15% landscaping. Number three, there's no disagreement with the applicant. And number four is the 6-foot masonry wall that P&Z is recommending. And again, the applicant's asking that to be removed. So Mayor, before I hand it back to you, I just want to take a moment to reflect on where these conditions came from and a little bit of the site's history. So with the addition of 100,000 square foot, the UDC would require the site to come into compliance with the entire UDC, which would mean setbacks and landscaping and a variety of other items, that the site's just non-conforming because of its age. It's a manufacturing facility. These are all things that staff's aware of and understanding of and not necessarily wanting to push. But with that, a conditional use permit is our opportunity to say, hey, this is a use that may be pushing the limit a little bit, and it's an opportunity to add conditions to go and beyond, above and beyond. I don't think that's the case in this situation. But additionally, following this CUP, if approved, the applicant will go to Zoning Board of Adjustment to ask for all of their nonconformities to be able to continue to exist. So following a CUP where these conditions could be added, they'll go to ZBA and say, hey, we have these nonconformities. We'd like to keep them. We don't want to correct them, even though we're adding 100,000 square foot. A majority of those nonconformities, staff's going to be supportive of those remaining. But with that, this area at 4902 Shank really becomes the only opportunity to preserve some green space and try and do a little bit of improvement. And the last comment I'll make before handing it back, even with these conditions, if adopted as presented by staff and the ZBA approves the special exceptions, the project can move forward and it still will not meet the minimum requirement of the UDC. And so these conditions are not necessarily overly absorbent in my opinion, but with that, I just wanted to share it with you, Mayor Cole.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the staff report. Throw it open for questions, comments from council. Mr. Patel.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 4, I thought we agreed that they were going to do chain link fence with slates in them. Is that not? We agree. I thought we agreed with that, or.
So I don't know that we did an agreement because we didn't vote.
Sure.
I think that was the discussion that we talked about here.
Okay.
And I think staff's just putting on the table what P&Z recommends.
Got it.
Could
Okay,
we hear
so.
could we hear from the property owner?
I mean,
Yeah,
we're not in a
before-
public hearing, so, but yeah, we can.
Yeah, I mean, I would, because there was some comments made, I'd like to have confirmation or denial
Okay.
from 1 through 4, what his position is on each one of them, so we could also inquire.
Mr. Bizon? Just give us your name for the record, please.
I put in a SB as well. Jean-Pierre Bajan with Solvchem. Good evening, City Council, staff, and the community. So, do you want me to answer some questions first?
I think the question on the table to you is the 4 conditions that staff laid out, was their representation of where everybody sits accurate? Is that fair?
Yeah, I just want to know, there seem to be some agreement, some disagreement.
Yeah, so no issues with the first one. They added this wording in red, and we've discussed it, and we're okay with that additional wording. And then on the second recommendation, they added some new wording, some new requirements beyond the UDC. As you recall from the last meeting, I had requested to allow us to follow the UDC guidelines for M1 zoning, And so our recommendations are below that with the additional green, just for clarification. And then the third one was the oak trees. We've discussed that. We agreed in the past, and we still agree today. And then the fourth one, we had requested to allow us to do the 30-foot buffer with the vegetative screening. It's going to be planted at 4 feet, grow to 8 feet within 12 months, and then do a second layer of large shade, a third layer of ornamental trees, and a 30-foot buffer, which we find to be much more effective, as we mentioned there, for both screening and sound. Did I answer your questions?
Yep. Yes. You align with planning in the ones that you want to change and the ones you don't. I had seen, or because I wasn't here when y'all had the last meeting, I had seen some photos of what you did propose instead of a masonry fence. Do you have those
Sure.
photos?
Absolutely. Let's get some samples there. So this is a bird's eye view of what we would propose on the western frontage with the, and this is the requirement because we have a residential neighbor still there in an M1 zone. And so this is a representation of what that would look like over time. In addition, on the frontage there at Shank, you see the shrubbery every 3 feet as required for that frontage. As far as it's going to get to another view. Here's the bird's eye view from the west of that. And on this one, this fence actually already has slats in it. We've already built that fence. But what we're recommending is to follow UDC and add the 3 layers of vegetation. And then the next photo is at the ground level elevation view. This is conceptual, of course. And then from the south, here you get a little bit better representation of the hedge along the fence line. This one didn't have slats, but once again, the vegetation would be growing. We'd be planted at 4 feet, grow to 8 feet within 12 months for the UDC. And then the 2 layers of trees, large shade and then ornamental. We're not asking for any variances on that, but to do exactly that, to develop this as a very nice screening over time. Can appreciate it's going to take time for the trees to grow. We're also going to conserve any trees that we can in that area to maintain the screening that's already in existence, as well as all the hardwoods there and for part of the development. One of the recommendations which we're open to is if they prefer for us to do the vegetative shrubbery screening, the evergreen, outside the fence, we're open to doing that. And then there's a vegetative buffer so that the security fencing isn't seen, if that's something that's pleasing the neighbors instead. The slats can be a nuisance. They're plastic. They wear out over time. In a windstorm, it can knock down the fence. But that's something that we've discussed, and we're open to doing that if that beautifies and improves in addition to.
And that's one thing that I did want to talk to planning and zoning because Mr. Bizon had reached out to me in regards to what my thoughts were. With the masonry fence in an industrial area, all it takes is some knuckleheads to come start spray painting your masonry fence, and it's a hassle. I know people that had their buildings painted, and until the neighbor moved out, it was continuous. And to me, one of the things when I saw the proposal here, my thought was to put the bushes on the outside. You don't see the security fence, and they get the benefit of having the security fence behind it. You don't have the shade of the trees that might stunt the growth or make it slower to grow. And from that, it hides it, makes it, if you want to call it, more aesthetically pleasing. That's what one of my thoughts were. So,
yeah, if I can add some to context to the conversation pertaining to the masonry fence. First of all, I like the idea. I was going to suggest the same thing, put the security fence inside the vegetation, a little bit nicer for the residents and easier for you guys to see that you need to do maintenance on, not have to
Exactly.
perimeter around the forest that you're offering to plant, figure it out. But prior to this meeting, Member Fernandez and I were talking to Commissioner Eisenberg from Planning and Zoning on this particular issue, and just to share with the rest of council and with the room, he commented to us that the masonry fence idea was his proposed idea, that he liked that because he wanted the screening, and literally said, before we told him, if they're willing to plant 8-foot vegetation and some trees, I'm fine with that. I just want it screened. And so I just wanted to put that out there. So if we're all okay with that,
well, I mean,
the masonry wall.
Like I said, before I knew that, I had talked to Mr. Vizon, and to me, that's more aesthetically pleasing because having a knucklehead, they're not going to spray paint your bush.
I don't disagree. I just didn't want us to spend 45 minutes on the fence if we didn't need to.
No, I get it. I get it. But I mean, that was just one thing that I thought was a pleasing aesthetically, to the neighbors.
Yeah. Member Fernandez, did I characterize that correctly?
Yes, sir, you did.
Thank you.
So I think, I guess from a staff perspective, I understand putting a fence on the property line, but that just kind of makes sense because you can line of demarcation between your property, their property, and everything else. But I do kind of like what was mentioned of putting the fence inside the property line and allow the vegetation to be a little bit, to be outside on the property, but outside the fence. That way, the neighbors aren't, or I wouldn't necessarily think you'd have to put slats in it. So now we're not having to worry about, wind problems and having damage to those and continually, trying to mess with that. Same thing, the neighbors aren't looking at a chain link fence. They're looking at greenery that, albeit when it's first put in, it's not going to be as thick as it is over the next several years as it grows and does, those types of things. But even some of the shrubs and bushes will grow fairly quickly to be able to get that in. I don't know, Vance, from a staff standpoint, if we were to offer that and Mr. Bison wanted to do that, what is staff's position on that?
Yeah, and so thank you for bouncing over to us, Mayor Cole. I think the representation along Orange Street is good and fair. That's why we showed that aerial or that drone photo, just to show how thick that canopy is there. What I was just discussing with Martin is, do we even want to make that a condition about the fence and its location to the property line, or do we just want to remove it?
So my question, Mr. Bison, is that fence existing today?
On the western property, it is.
The western end.
This one, there's no.
Southern is not.
Southern is not, correct.
Okay. So I'll ask what your thoughts are of moving that fence that's on the western end inside your property and then doing the landscape buffer.
To allow for the ligustrum or whatever hedge bush that can grow to that height.
It could be the same stuff that you're planting here now. It's just the neighbor wouldn't be looking at a chain link fence.
Yeah, we have no issues with that at all. The whole idea is we're going to be building a 30-foot landscape.
30-foot, yeah. The 30-foot landscape is still there. Just where the fence goes, we can determine.
Now there was another issue that was brought up by the neighbors that when I watched, and it was in regards to the parking on Shank Road. I know there was also some discussion about EDC reworking Shank Road, which is in this packet right here. So my question is, have we resolved the neighbors' issue with the vehicles parking? Because as Mr. Bison presented last time, he makes appointments for the deliveries, but when they show up and drivers have to have 8 hours of sleep when they drive whatever time period is, they will park wherever, and I've seen it. and I know companies that run into that problem. So as far as the no parking for the neighbors, has that been resolved?
So the new parking signs, or the no parking signs, have been put back up. I don't know if we've done any actual enforcement on that, or if we've been called.
That was going to be my next question, the chief fires. or whoever's sitting in the corner back there. Do I need to frame the question for you, Chief Spires?
I think we're trying to determine if we put the no parking signs back up on Shank, and have we done any enforcement, or have we had
Well,
any?
I'm not looking.
I haven't heard of any enforcement at this time.
Okay, I'm like I said, I'm not looking, are they actively doing it right now, but is it something in the purview that as a patrolman drives by and sees something parked,
Sure.
it shouldn't be?
Yes, and our truck enforcement, which I think we have one here tonight, is very familiar with that area and takes action on them when he can.
Well, one, I wanted to make sure the signs were up, and two, for the because you can't enforce it without the right sign up.
And if any of the residents were to call in now that the signs are up, we would respond and enforce.
And that's what I wanted to make sure that their concerns were addressed, so that we don't have this issue, because I get with an elderly parent, not being able to have access for ambulance or even for them to get in is a problem. So that's what my concern was there as well.
And if they'll call, we'll be there.
Okay. All right.
Mayor, can I add something to that? Pertaining to Shank Road, I had a resident reached out to me earlier today pertaining to this. And Trent, I know you gave me the update that, speaking with PDC, 2027 is what is expected to redo Shank Road. Is that correct?
So I believe we have it in our current budget, or the 26 budget, to start the design work. So we'll start the design work in fiscal year, probably by the beginning of calendar year 26. Okay. That, with utility relocations, all the approvals, DD4, and going through our process for approval, we're probably looking at 15 to 18 months before we'd get under construction. Okay. So I would expect we'd be under construction sometime in 27, completing in 28.
So with that said, from now till then, I guess this question could go to either Vance or Lorenzo. Pertaining to, I think we still have an obligation to make sure that the road is drivable from now till then. Are we having any plans on taking care of the potholes throughout that very, very rough road, just to buy us, to allow the safety of the vehicles to go up and down as this process of getting the road redone?
Yes, that's something we can take a look at from a maintenance standpoint.
Okay.
I would think we could take a proactive look at it on a periodic basis, but we will also respond anytime anyone calls in. If something develops in between us, putting eyes on it.
Yeah, I don't know how my council members feel about it, but I just think that the residents, deserve to have at least, the potholes filled in the time being from now till that. So if we can get that looked at and get back to us, that would be great.
I would support that.
I would as well.
Yes.
We just need to keep it in some good repair. Obviously, we're going to be tearing it all up, but with the truck traffic, it's getting beat up, pretty bad. So real quick about house cleaning, we've got this motion on the table. Martin, the recommended actions from P&Z do not automatically go into the motion. Is that correct?
Correct. So neither staff recommendation or P&Z automatically gets into the recommendation, or it's into the resolution, which is why we always ask council to ensure that those conditions.
So we have, if I remember correctly, we have agreement on recommended action number 1 and 3. We have number 4. We have the masonry fence versus what we discussed of the chain link and going chain link inside. I would leave it up to him if he wants to go inside or outside. Is that? I think that's fair.
Well, I just think it looks better on outside, but
and on that portion of it, and remind me of 2.
Oh, you got 2 and 4 were the 2.
Okay. And then 2's got the you want some input on. There it is.
Yeah, so condition 2, that's the one with the 30-foot setback, and I will say I would like to see that remain. I understand where you're coming from. On the setback side of the UDC, it says for 6 foot, but the UDC also has green space requirements. So even with putting the 30-foot in, as staff said, we're not going to meet that requirements. There's a lot of nonconformity on the property. Again, I would agree with staff's recommendation to ZBA that the other nonconformities stay in place. So on that one, it's really kind of the only place that we can maintain some greenery along Shank, and that's something that's clearly always been important.
Can you pull up and show me where that's at? What we're talking about?
On the site, so that red area right there, that's 75-foot box, but 30 feet of that just staying off of that and maintaining green space along the road. Correct. So I just wanted to give that input. I think that's a reasonable compromise. And then on the masonry wall side, I would be perfectly fine with removing that because of the vegetation recommendation. I think that's a much better solution anyway.
And council members, if I may, Martin was kind enough to update condition number 4 to reflect the 30-foot setback with a chain link fence and the landscaping on the outside of it.
To allow for it. Okay.
Hold on, the landscaping on the outside?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't we say we wanted to leave where he put the fence up to him?
Right. In other words, we will allow it to go inside the fence or outside the fence.
Okay. We just don't want to put a fence.
Condition as written would be for the fence to be on the inside of the landscape.
That's what I'm saying is the condition
Okay.
is specifying location.
Right.
So we're saying don't specify the location. Right? Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, but I mean, Mr. Bazan was okay putting it
It's
on
okay
the
with,
inside.
so we'll
Yeah,
put it on the
so,
inside.
Okay.
I mean,
So those conditions need to be made as a form of an amendment. You have them clear. Will you, can you offer that up?
Yeah. Are there any other comments on condition 2?
I'm okay with condition 2.
Did we, part of the language we were going to change, or did it get changed?
That was on condition.
hold on real quick.
Part of it on 2, he said.
Kept 2.
Hold on.
Kept 2 the way written.
Before you do that, Mr. Bazan, on number 2, what we're fixing to do here is leave 2 in. You're in agreement with 1 and 3, changing number 4 to where the vegetation would be on the outside of the fence. Are we good with being able to proceed that way?
With 2?
Well, what we'd be looking at is keeping 2, yes.
With the
Changing
with the additional language.
Yes. Keeping 2 with the 30-foot buffer, but changing 4 to not require the masonry.
Where was the slide that had something about 2?
That was his slide with his recommended changes.
Yeah. If we have to do it.
Just the M1 requirements, UDC.
It would still allow for retention ponds, though,
Yes. Yes. Correct.
and or buildings, just not employee parking.
So a building would not be allowed in the 30-foot. The ponds and landscaping would be.
It said for off-street parking, maneuvering, loading areas. What about a building, office building?
And just to be clear, the front setback, which Shank would be a front setback, is 35 feet. So a building could not go in the 30-foot irregardless.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
Thank you.
I don't know that it's far off from what the UDC required anyway.
No, I just want to make sure we're clear what we're fixing to do.
Right. So Mayor Pro Tem's got the amendment.
I think I do. And you guys will tell me if I'm wrong. So would be consideration possible action resolution number R2025-CUP 2025-0285 with staff recommendations remaining in place and changing condition 4 from P&Z to no longer require a masonry fence, but to allow for the proposed 8-foot tall landscaping with ornamental trees and chain link fence inside vegetation line. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the amendments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, we're going to vote on the amended
Can I have
motion.
one question, please? it says with metal slats. Is that, you want slats in the fence?
No, sir.
No.
They added slats to it.
So we're voting on the amended motion, Madam Secretary.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Koza,
Aye.
Member Chavdia,
Aye.
Member Cade,
Aye.
Member Fernandez,
Aye.
Member Patel.
Aye.
The motion passes 6-0.
All right, so now we have an amended motion on the table. Back to that. Any last opportunity for questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Patel,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Koza,
Aye.
Member Chavdia,
Aye.
Member Cade,
Aye.
Member Fernandez.
Aye.
The motion passes 6-0.
All right, so here we go. Moving now, here we go. Item number 8. Item number 8. Mr. Koza, would you present that, please?
Certainly, Mayor. Consideration possible action resolution number R2025-146. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is a resolution approving the Oldtown revitalization plan. I want to thank Vance Wiley and his staff for all the work on this plan, as well as the significant input from our community and all those that participated in being a stakeholder. It was a huge community effort. The plan's been reviewed and recommended for approval by the Pearland Economic Development Corporation Board, as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission. And I will hand it over to Vance for tonight's presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Trent. And I'm really hoping that this is able to be short and really hopeful for a sense of arrival that we've done it and it's a victory. And so with that, I did want to take a moment just to do a little bit of housekeeping before I dive in too far. And those items that I wanted to just clear up, or just not clear up, but just say are the Oldtown Revitalization Plan is not a regulatory document. The Oldtown Revitalization Plan does not create budgetary obligations. Through the plan, the formal boundaries of Oldtown have not changed. And I say that just because the study area was not the normal boundaries. Yeah, and so with those, I'll dive in a little bit. So obviously need to start out with thanking the project team that made this possible. First and foremost up there is our Economic Development Corporation that not only funded the project to make it a possibility, but also were a hand-in-glove partner every step of the way through developing the plan, and also are taking great efforts in the implementation strategies already. And then obviously Olson has been just absolutely amazing to work with, from the website to the public input in the final document. Truly, truly grateful for their participation and them joining us on this adventure. So now as I continue on, I want to take a moment and just show this acknowledgements page to show the size of the stakeholder group. And so on this project, we had a stakeholder group of almost 50 community members. It was like 49 community members that participated the entire time. As Trent mentioned in the beginning, this is coming to you with a recommendation of approval from the PEDC Board, from the Planning and Zoning Commission. It's gone to Pearland Prosperity. It was presented to the Lions Club last week. I mean, this plan has been in front of everyone, and it's and y'all are up there as well because you've seen multiple workshops with it with PNC. And I share this because it's through community input and buy-in like this that you're able to get these type of outreach numbers and engagement numbers. So the Oldtown Revitalization Plan ended up with over 11,000 participants, and we got it in front of over 67,000 people in our community. And so really, really strong numbers, and just incredibly grateful for everyone on staff and the Olson consultant team who made that possible. Just a few kind of summary highlights to show from the survey information for the different reasons that people pass through or visit Oldtown and how often, and these are all within the plan, but just to show some of the imagery and some of the percentages of why people are visiting Oldtown here. I'm not going to hover on this, but just wanted to show it. Another one here, the common reasons that what are you most likely to visit Oldtown for on the weekends or weekdays, and dining, nightlife, shopping are the leaders there, both in the weekends or weekdays. So taking a moment just to read the vision statement that came out of the plan. So Oldtown Pearland blends history, culture, and modern growth with sustainable infrastructure, distinctive design, walkability, and vibrant public spaces. Prioritizing safety, accessibility, and local businesses, it thrives as a connected, welcoming destination of choice for all. And so through the plan, through the stakeholder meetings, through workshops, this is the vision statement that we landed on. And here, just to show the different, the sections or the chapters that the plan got broken into, So there's land use and character, placemaking in public spaces, mobility and connectivity, development and redevelopment, utilities and infrastructure, and then obviously the big ideas were a huge part of the plan that we received a lot of input and enjoyment and discussion. So just quickly, I wanted to show the big ideas before moving on. So here you have the Depot District kind of located in the central portion of Oldtown there along Main at Jasmine. This is envisioned to be a mixed-use space with office and retail, and then a nice large community green area. Number 2 is Grand Link. Obviously, many of you have participated in that conversation, envisioning that to be a festival street with on-street parking and also serving as a green corridor to connect Orange all the way down to Walnut. Number 3 in the bottom right is Cinder Square. This is the property around the post office there, Cinder Square Post Office. And so that's envisioning maybe the opportunity for some multifamily mixed-use style developments with green space. Number 4, formerly known as the one-way pair concept. Here, the plan calls it the Broadway Street realignment, and just envisioning what are we going to do in the future whenever TxDOT does widen Broadway all the way to on either sides of Oldtown. And then finally, number 5 is South Junction. A good way to know where this is that the 7 Hughes or the Ford restaurant there south on Main. So I'm only going to dive into one just because the Grand Link received so much positive feedback and enjoyment, and we had our first programming activity this year following the plan and in partnership with Parks and Rec and Visit Pearland. So here you can see kind of the redesigning of Grand there at Broadway, including pavers, enhanced landscaping and walkability with a shared use path on either side. At the top you can see vehicles parking, and at the bottom you can see where it's been closed to become that festival street with on-street activities and just enjoyment. Again, showing just how it could be redone with brick pavers, enhanced walkability and landscaping, and how during the day the street can serve as parking as it currently does. And then in the evenings where you could do a road closure and get that programming going, or cookouts or whatever type of seasonal festivity could be going on. And I wanted to just kind of close with a few photos from an event. Again, Parks and Rec and Visit Pearland came together to put on an outstanding event. So our Pearland Grand Arts and Eats in 2025, and these are photos from our community of people coming out and being together in Oldtown. So I hope some of you were able to participate in that. It was truly an awesome event. And kudos are out to Parks and Rec and Visit Pearland again, just because they've already got next year's planned. So great kind of kickoff to show what we're wanting to do in this area. So with that, again, I just can't say thank you enough. I want to thank a couple of our stakeholders who have hung out, even though this has been a little bit of a long meeting. And so with that, Mayor Cole, I'll bounce it to you.
All right, thank you, Vince. I want to echo the folks from Olson. Great job. The engagement all along the way has been not only with you guys, but with the community, helping us do that. I'm gonna, Pat, and I risk doing this. Pat Vance on the back. Yeah, we got to look out. The folks in community development, y'all took this ball and ran with it, and you've scored touchdown after touchdown after touchdown with it since we're in football season. You truly hit it out of the park, and so I appreciate the seriousness and the drive that you guys put behind it, and you know, I think one day we'll look back and this is a pivotal moment for the Oldtown site, and I think it's one that with some drive and some commitment and some, you know, moving forward after we do this in subsequent years, we'll look back as a legacy opportunity for our Oldtown site. And so I can't thank you and your staff and your team enough for where we are. To the public watching this online or here tonight, I just want to remind you, I've said this multiple times as we've gone through this, this isn't a 460, 480 acre green field that we go out there and we just build this Oldtown site and there it is. This is existing infrastructure, existing structures, existing area that will need to be revitalized and changed. This is hard and slow work. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens piecemeal. In fact, things will happen that you'll look up over a 5 or 6 or 8 year period and go, when did that change? It's been changing for some amount of time. You just didn't notice it until it got to a certain critical mass. So just keep that in mind. You won't see festival space tomorrow, but you'll see phases, things of that nature. We've already got the EDC and some of their staffing and other people ready to go for redevelopment and put some things out where we can understand how we phase some of these approaches, right? So again, I just caution, it's not 480 acres of greenfield that we just get to go build tomorrow. This is 20-year type work, but it's legacy type work for this city that we can be proud of. We can look back and say we had a part of this. So I just want to be on record to do all that, and I know with Vance, I'll pay for that one later. So anyway, Ms. Cade?
Yes. I want to echo what you said about thank you, Vance, thank you, Martin, for everything you did. The fact that you reached so many people, I will forever use you as an example with people who said that they went out into the community and spoke to people, and they've got, 20 people that they spoke to. I'll say, no, you didn't talk to Vance and Martin. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to the Olson Group for what y'all did. I don't think this is going to be a plan or a study that just sits on the shelf this time, and I'm very, very appreciative and happy about that. So thank you so much. I am really looking forward to what this is going to become. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be something that the residents will appreciate when we're done with it. So thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you to all the stakeholders also.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Good deal. All right. With that, Madam Secretary, a call for the vote.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
All right. With that, I know we've been here a while. We still have quite a bit more to go. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We've been sitting here since 4. So we need to at least stretch our legs for just a few minutes. So give us 5 minutes, and we'll be right back. present that, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Consideration possible action, resolution number R 2025-154. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item awards a construction contract for the rebuild of 4 span wire traffic signals. That'll bring them up to our current standards for span wire signals, utilizing funds from both FY26 and the now approved as of tonight fiscal year 26 budget. The intersections are Broadway at Cullen, Broadway at Galveston, Broadway at 1128, and Broadway at Harkey. So we recommend award to Florida Traffic Control Devices in the amount of just a little over $200,000 tonight. Thank you.
All right, with that, any questions, comments, concerns from council? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Chavarria?
Yes.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Absent.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right. Here it comes. Mr. Byron, would you present number 10, please?
Sure. Consideration possible action resolution number R 2025-150. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Mayor, this and council, this is an award of a construction contract for intersection improvements at multiple locations within the Shadow Creek Ranch master plan community and TERS number 2. It includes new signals at, I believe, 2 different intersections, dual turn lanes, extended turn lanes, median improvements, and other minor improvements at intersections within that area. The city is financing this project, and all those project costs will be reimbursed with interest by TERS number 2 once we've completed the project and gone through the reimbursement process. So we recommend an award to Jordan Enterprises in the amount of a little over $6.25 million.
Excellent. So any questions, comments, concerns from council? It's been long coming. Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Chavarria?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, to you, Ms. Cade, number 11, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action resolution number R 2025-149. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item approves a construction contract for the rehabilitation of the Dixie Farm Road North lift station. It's located right there near Walmart on Dixie Farm Road, just south of FM 518. The rehabilitation project includes rehab of the wet well, replacement of pumps, update of the SCADA system, adds emergency generator power to the lift station, as well as an odor control system. This is part of our overall plan for rehabilitation of lift stations when they come due for that type of work. And this being a regional lift station gets the emergency generator as well as the odor control system. So we recommend award to McDonald Municipal and Industrial in the amount of $1.86 million and some change. Thank you.
All right, throw it open for questions, comments, concerns from council. Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Chavarria?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, back to you, Mr. Fernandez. If you'll place number 12 on the table, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action resolution number R 2025-156. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item has 2 things associated with this resolution. The first is the award of a construction contract for the reconstruction of Industrial Drive west of State Highway 35. And it also authorizes a reimbursement agreement between the city and the Pearland Economic Development Corporation to fund the project. As indicated by the reimbursement agreement, this is a project funded by the EDC as part of the EDC's commitment to allocate 20% of their annual sales tax revenue to qualified infrastructure recapitalization projects for redevelopment in targeted areas of the city. So this is one of many that we've done and many that you'll see moving forward. and we'll really improve the access and accommodate the truck traffic very well on Industrial Drive. So we recommend award to Conrad Construction in the amount of a little over $5.425 million and recommend approval of the reimbursement agreement with PEDC. Thank you, Mayor.
Questions, comments, concerns from council?
I just have a comment. Thank you, Mayor. So just want to thank Matt and his team. I know this has been on the list and it's long overdue, so thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Koza?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank our state rep, Jeff Berry, who at the time was Councilmember Jeff Berry. Him and I came up with this idea, and like to thank EDC and their board for working with the city to help in these type projects. It does enhance the city, even though it's an industrial road, called Industrial Road. It does make the truck traffic and the road more viable. We had folks already leave that were involved on Shank. It will be one that's in the near future coming. So these type projects do benefit the city. So Matt, thank you for working with us.
And we've got a couple of roads that if people on Industrial want to know what that looks like afterwards, they can go over on 35. We have several roadways that we've redone.
They can look at First Street.
Yeah, and you can see how well it turns out. So it's construction, so that means it's not going to be fun in the middle of it. Are folks from Conrad here real quick? What's our timetable, Trent, for this? Like 10-month construction, something like that?
If you could step up to the podium, please.
The reason I ask, I sent a note over to Matt and Trent a little bit ago. I got a outreach, actually from Member Carbone and Wade Sherman Tank over on Industrial today. So he has the prospects of landing a governmental contract, actually having to do with some of the border wall and those types of things. But having said that, obviously he's concerned with trying to, do some business there, getting a building up and those types of things, and then you guys with the road. And so he had pitched the idea of, can we delay the road? And I said, no.
It looks like the schedule is 270 days, and typically traffic control plan will accommodate traffic as is, but maybe, I don't know if there's anything to add to that.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that and he hasn't landed that yet. He just had a big concern about it, and I just told him, I said, I think we should just try to do it all. If you need to expand, we'll work with you on expediting and how we do that. At the same time, pricing's only good for so long, and so we need to get this road built. So I just want to put that on everybody's radar. That might be something that comes up, and we have additional construction, not on the road, obviously, but in the corridor with buildings. And so just making sure traffic control and everybody's eyes are wide open to what may be going on. But I told him, I said, we have that type of conflict happens during construction, so we're aware of it. So, but I did say we would mention it, but we're not going to hold the road up. Thank y'all for being here. I just had, he said 270 days. Is that correct? All right. Just give us your name for the record. That'll work. Brian Conrad with Conrad Construction. So with that, any other questions, comments? All right. Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla? Member Cade?
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving to number 13, Mr. Koza.
Certainly, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R2025-155. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We do have a member of the public that would like to speak on this. Mayor Pro Tem, would you introduce him?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Bill Baldy.
Yeah, Bill Baldy, 3714 Wingtail. Yes, our Civic Club, one of the hottest topics is what's going to happen with our roads. We've been wondering it for a good while. And our Civic Club highly recommends that you take your staff's recommendation of approving your resolution 2025-155 for the repair of the roads in Wesley. I do have one question for you though on that is, it says you're gonna pulverize the base layer, creating a homogenized foundation, and then you're gonna stabilization with the new base layer of cement slurry. Are you gonna raise it? We don't need it raised.
You want us, we can take that when we get into
Yeah,
discussion.
I'll catch him later on that. But yeah, you know, the staff recommends that you do it. I hope y'all go through with it. You know, if you want to doubt on that, come out there and walk at night out there and see how many sprained ankles, stubbed toes, trips, falls, me and somebody else over here. But yeah, it's getting bad. Yeah. And we asked for some potholes filled. They came out, they filled 3. It's great. We still got a lot more. And we're hoping it'll get done. We see it's in process. I appreciate your help on this. Thank you much.
Thank you, Bill. Just by way, and we'll answer this question in just a second, but you know, we were hoping to be to this quicker, but what we've noticed out there is base failure, and so so it, you know, when you go and rush that, we'll be right back at it in no time. So we wanted to make sure that we got good geotechnical reports, what's going on underneath, so we can address the base repair along the way, and do better on the repair than just coming in and overlaying it and letting it crumble again. So yeah. So with that, Lorenzo, I don't know if you have a question on how, you know, mill and overlay and base repairs, you know, whether or not we're raising the road or we're trying to.
Is anybody from 40 here?
Hmm?
Is anybody from 40, the construction company?
Yeah.
Could you take a step up to the podium, please, sir?
Eric, can we give a brief staff report? And so this authorizes the use of our interlocal agreement with LaPorte that we just awarded or approved at the last meeting, awarding a contract for paving work in the Wesley subdivision. After the drainage work was completed in there, it was determined that the road rehab and repave was necessary. And as you mentioned, Mayor, we went through a process of going through geotechnical work to ensure the work we do will meet the long-term needs. And then we looked at many different options with this interlocal option as the best value cost, and looking to use this potentially on future projects, assuming we're successful out there in Wesley. So we do recommend award to Ford Construction in the amount of $1.49 million. So if we can, now we can maybe get the questions answered on when we mill, I mean, and overlay, it typically doesn't raise anything. It doesn't guarantee it's not slightly higher, but maybe we can cover the details.
Yes, based on the geotech report that we got back, there was a pavement section recommendation that had basically 12 inches of base and then a 2-inch riding course. So essentially what we'll wind up doing is milling 14 inches, mixing in the cement with that base, and then coming back with the 2-inch riding course. So the intention is not to raise the roadside, the roadway elevation.
Y'all concur?
Yeah, Paul 40 of 40 Construction.
Mr. Koza?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to give you some words of advice, whether y'all take it, whether you don't, it's up to y'all. There was a road called Orange in Old Alvin here in Pearland. We had citizens that were highly concerned about the roads being raised. And when it came to pass Orange Street in the area that they were concerned about, it did get raised. And one thing that I would suggest is if y'all introduce each other and kind of have communication through the project, it can save a lot of headaches. What we found out on Orange Street, there was a couple of neighbors that didn't want certain things and didn't want, one of them was a sidewalk. They would take the forms at night and they would tear the forms apart. So then the construction crew would come back the next morning and they're like, oh, we can't pour concrete here. So just a little bit of, you know, not that they're going to direct anything, but a little bit of communication goes a long way. And Bill, if you know, if you're up for it or if there's somebody else, it can enhance y'all's experience out there in Wesley if, you know, you kind of provide a little feedback. I know the sidewalks, but believe you me, it can be anything. When Orange Street was raised, you specifically stated you didn't want it, so that is some.
You could go to the mic if you're gonna comment. Sorry, I know we got to record everything. I just want to stay standing.
We're gonna get you some exercise tonight.
That's fine. My knees are killing me. But yeah, the county came out there years ago before Pearland came in, and they raised it. And then when they did that, we started flooding even worse.
Exactly.
Y'all came in last year and you dug out the ditches. We really hadn't had a good test on it yet. So we're kind of, well, what's going to happen?
Right.
So that's where we're at right now. But we don't want them going any higher than they already are because you're just damming us in.
That's right. You're making it
plain and simple. Water's coming over from across 1128, coming right through our subdivision. So till we can get that solved, we'll see what happens.
Oh, good. I would definitely suggest that.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be happy to work with this gentleman. No problem. I'll give him my name, number.
Yeah, just making sure there's good lines of communication.
Yeah, I'm retired, so
between
he
you
can
guys
reach
and
me
the
anytime.
contractor.
So
There's going to be conflict. There's going to be something coming up. I mean, it's construction, right? And,
yes.
And Trent or Lorenzo or Ford, either one. What's the time on the contract?
I think it's 6 months. I thought it said
6 months.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 6 months of dirty cars, 6 months of dust. It's going to be 6 months, but driveways blocking, and those
now that may be the problem.
Yeah,
but we'll
types of things.
He'll take care of all that.
Yeah. So, but it's good time. It's been needed for a long time, so we're finally here. So
we do appreciate it.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments? Don't see any. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Chavdia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
All right, back to you, Ms. Chavarria. Number 14, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration, possible action, first reading of ordinance number 1652. So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We do have somebody that signed up to speak to this. We'll do that before staff report.
Yeah, Mr. McReynolds, we're not going to hear from you tonight, so you can just Scott, if you state your name for the record, appreciate you being here. You got 3 minutes, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Scott McReynolds, 2013 Foxglove Oaks Court, Pearland, 77581. So I'm here to speak today on behalf of the Pearland Police Officers Association. I respectfully ask the council's favorable consideration for proposed Pearland Police Department lateral entry ordinance. The members of the PPOA are united in strong support for this initiative. We believe it aligns Pearland more closely with our neighboring agencies, many of which already offer the lateral entry for experienced officers. Some of the key advantages for lateral entry is fast integration onto the street. Experienced officers joining via lateral entry can become fully operational in 8 to 12 months more quickly than an academy recruit who must complete the full training pipeline. This accelerates reinforcement to our patrol forces and boosts community safety sooner. Number two, the proven performance. Lateral candidates have already demonstrated capabilities in real-world law enforcement roles. Their prior service offers assurance of their ability to perform under pressure, make decisions, and manage various responsibilities. Number three, potential for specialized skills. Officers coming from other agencies may bring specialized experience. Example, investigations, drones, community policing, language skills, etc. These skills can help fill gaps in our department, strengthen existing units, and enhance service to Pearland's diverse community. Number four is also cost savings. By reducing the duration of training for lateral hires, the city stands to save significant training costs. Over time, these savings can offset the cost of any incentive pay for lateral credits. Number five, competitive recruiting. In the current environment, many officers, law enforcement officers, professionals consider lateral options. Without a formal program, Pearland risks losing qualified candidates to jurisdictions that offer this program. In conclusion, In summary, the Pearland Police Officers Association believes that the lateral entry ordinance represents a sensible, strategic enhancement to department recruiting and operations. It enables Pearland to attract and deploy highly qualified, experienced officers more efficiently, strengthens public safety, and over the long haul, offers financial savings. The PPOA asked the City Council to adopt this ordinance, and we are committed to doing everything needed to ensure its success. Just FYI, I came over 25 years ago from another agency, and this would have been a big deal to me at that time. I know several officers that are looking at Pearland. This is going to help bring them here. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you for that. We'll open up for staff report.
What Officer McReynolds said. I'll add a couple things, but thank you. In our efforts to attract and retrain qualified and licensed police officers, we present this ordinance that'll provide lateral transfers up to step 4 in our civil service pay plan, meaning we're able to hire licensed officers with experience and bring them on board at a step matching their experience up to step 4. Under our current rules, those experienced officers come in at a step 1. So this will provide an additional competitive advantage in hiring, as you just heard. It also adjusts our current officers with qualifying experience up to step 4 if they haven't reached that point at this time. We started at step 4. It does allow us to move it to step 5 next year. We'll evaluate it at that point to see if there's any benefits in going beyond that. But at this point, we recommend approval of this first reading of the lateral officer entry ordinance. Thank you.
Good deal. Open it up for questions, comments, concerns from council. Mayor Pro Tem?
I think it's a great idea. As the landscape for law enforcement, public safety personnel gets more competitive, anything we can do to retain and attract good talent, I think is a good move. And thank you for sharing your opinion.
Yep, agree. Last call.
Thank you, Mayor. I concur with Mayor Pro Tem Byram. Scott, thank you for being here. Thank you for saying those words. I literally read this document, highlighted everything. You hit the key points. A couple things that I want those watching online is it is cost savings. It allows a lateral to come over and be on the street within 3 months instead of the 11 months. I think that is a huge savings, and it allows these officers the opportunity that they came from another agency, they have the experience, and so it's just another great move in the right direction for our city. Thank you, Mayor.
Good deal. Good call. Ms. Kate?
Thank you, Officer McReynolds, for sticking around this long to give us your spiel. And I cannot believe it takes 11 months for them to be ready. So thank you so much for telling us that. Appreciate you.
Good deal. Last call. Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
All right, Mr. Byram, back to you. Last one, number 15, please.
Consideration possible action, resolution number R2025-153. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution authorizes the purchase of a 3-year Microsoft Enterprise Agreement. We utilize the usual suite of Microsoft products that everybody's familiar with and some others across all of our organization for our everyday work. We evaluated pricing from multiple cooperative sources and recommend approval with CDW in the amount of just over $505,000 annually. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, with that, we'll turn to council for questions, comments, concerns. Ms. Cade?
That just allows all employees to use it, or is a subscription for each employee? What is?
I think what we have in here is we have over 900 PCs, laptops, and in-vehicle computers, as well as over 150 servers that rely upon this.
It's both the server infrastructure and the user license. It's all encompassing everything Microsoft has.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram.
Aye.
Member Koza.
Aye.
Member Chavadilla.
Aye.
Member Cade.
Aye.
Member Fernandez.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving forward in our agenda to other business, there is none. Mayor, council issues for city council discussion, there's none. With that, we'll move to adjournment at 9:37.